live now, or if you're not showing up live? There we go, Bobsheaux is live. They're singing the Pookie song.
And hello, everybody. We are live. And how are we all doing today?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I need to silence my cell phone here as I take a peek into the chat. Silence, silence.
What are you wearing, baby?
What am I wearing? I am wearing my Willy Wonka suit because I thought it might be whimsical as we delve back into the land of Oz.
Okay. Very Wonka. You're going to want to lose that hat, though.
Yes, I am, because my head is bulbous and I do not work well with hats. I know, right?
You work
so
great
ironic.
with hats.
Oh, and hey, the mark on my head isn't too horrible.
Well, with the lag, I haven't seen your hat come off yet.
You'll
Here
get
it
it.
goes. Coming off. Not too bad. Okay.
Alright, let's see. I want to go to there. And no. Coming into my stream here. This is always the last part.
Ian Sweeney would like to know, what background is that from?
The background here we have courtesy of my lady who found it for me last second. I forget what it's called, but it's some kind of screensaver background that's available on YouTube. And I just made a quick loop for it to play for the next several hours or so. So here you go.
I believe I found it by searching fairy tale background, fairy tale ambience, maybe?
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, something like that.
And yes, Eddie Bishop, you have made live chat. Hello. Grace Starks, nice to see you. Home Cruise, my man. We got E. Garcia, Philippa Clarkson, Mara Cruz, Carubius, hello. Ooh, and we have the entire Ninth Planet joining us in chat. Hello, Ninth Planet, and all of your many, many peoples. Got Colin Warbron, Sabrina, hello. So many familiar names, I love it.
Hi, Cody. I'm giving you a shout out. How y'all doing?
Yes, just turn on that southern charm they all love so much. So, yes, I am really happy with the setup that I've got going up here. And for a second there, it looked like the green screen was going to work. Oh no! Of course, everything goes wrong at the last possible second, so, you know.
Now, the mark from the hat on your forehead is neon, practically blinking. What the heck happened? And your hair's green.
Yes, it is an imperfect technology. Maybe it'll get better if I have a more sophisticated lighting system. I don't know. But, yeah, that's what's going up with that.
Okay, Raven doesn't do voices, guys.
Oh, she does voices, just not very appropriate voices for these streams.
No. So I am writing down voice suggestions.
God damn
I saw
it.
someone ask if Ever After High would ever be available on YouTube publicly. The answer to that is no. None of his patron-exclusive reviews are going to be put out publicly because that would be really unfair to his patrons who are supporting him.
I'm sorry, guys, that's not how that works.
Yeah. Luckily, the patron-exclusive stuff is a fraction of what he puts out publicly on YouTube for everybody to enjoy. So
Yes. So, bear in mind, it's the stuff that I'm giving to my patrons that's allowing me to do all this more stuff for free, so...
Addie says she likes the green hair. It saves time doing the Joker.
Now, if only I could do digital makeup. Let's refrain from doing spoilers with the creepy stare.
No, don't. Do not give it away.
And that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm talking about, but the people at home, they don't.
Can you tell them what the thing was, what we watched it for?
I don't think I can.
Okay.
But all that I can say is that I have heard many good things about it. In the same way that I might have heard good things about a certain Miyazaki film. So, I am ready to jump into those gallows once again! Those gallows? That gallows? Is that a singular? Plural? I don't know. I am ready to put myself on the line to make a complete idiot of myself as I say, I don't get it! And I'm happy to say that because I don't.
And then the salt shall flow.
What is happening? What am I looking at? I don't understand. But, yes, for all of its weirdness, we are here to delve into something that I mostly understand. Da-da-da-da! The semi-transparent Wizard of Oz. Ah, I'm red. Come on, red, go away. Seriously, creep me out. Knock it off. No? Oh, that's not right. Hang on, let me see if I can adjust that. Or do I need to? Can I fix that with focus? No. Okay.
Oh, it's getting worse.
Yes, it is. Excuse me while I fix that. Let's see, we go into my camera and my filters. We change the color.
Miyazaki
here.
has free backgrounds for live chat like those fairy backgrounds to celebrate the Studio Ghibli releases.
Oh, that's neat. And look at me care.
You're turning red.
I really need to get a better camera.
Oh my goodness, you've gone transparent.
I've gone transparent. Ah!
Yes, I can see through you.
Oh my god. I am the ghost of Christmas Bobsheaux. Stand by, we'll work this out, people.
Spooky Bobsheaux.
Holy Ghost. No idea what's going on here. Oh, that's because I turned down the opacity, not the saturation. What am I doing? There, I think that gives me a somewhat better look. Okay,
Marvelous.
there we
Bobsheaux
go.
forgets how to do video editing.
Hey, shut up. It's not editing, it's streaming, which is all touch and go. So, yes, I'm here. I'm in my corporeal form now, and I'm only kinda red. This camera, I seriously gotta get a new one.
Megan, can you please stop putting random letters because YouTube is hiding your messages, and I'm not going to go through and show all just because random letters.
And my thing just stopped.
What stopped?
My background, because
Oh no!
because I did not program it to loop. Hang on. There we go. Sorry about that. Is the background music too loud?
I can't hear it at all myself.
You
How
can't
about you
hear it at
guys?
all.
Well, see, I'm hearing over Skype. I have YouTube muted,
That's
so
right.
I'm not the one to ask. Guys, can you hear background music? Is it too loud, too quiet?
Looking into the chat right now. Can I do the tornado visual effects with that camera for the Wizard of Oz? Probably not. It's fine. I can hear it, but it's not too loud. Quiet. But not silent, apparently. It's fine. I can't hear the background. There's music. Crap, I don't know who to believe. It's a decent volume. It's too quiet. Ah! And I can't hear it for myself while I'm streaming. I hate it.
I think it's too quiet.
then, what happens if we do this? One of these days, I'm gonna get it. One of these days, I'm going to just be able to hit the stream button, and that will be it. I promise you. Maybe. How is that? He said after turning it up 10 more decibels.
Again, I'm not hearing anything over Skype, so I'm not the one to judge.
Yes, it's enough to hear and not distract. We've already got requests for the Chamberlain and Daddy Derek. Diesel Patches has got a blast. Sorry about that, buddy. We'll see you later. Better, great, excellent, perfect, great. Okay, so it's better and still not too loud. Thank you, Colin, and that's a very good piece of critique right there. I think we are good to go on that front. And
Yay.
Let me see if I can adjust this here. Trying to get this. Whoa! Saw a little thing flying overhead there, and I thought it was like my light falling down. Ah, no!
Grace says, "Hey Bobsheaux, I'm basing a character off of you named Tops the Triceratops. Yes, it's corny, I know. He's a very laid-back dinosaur who usually goes with the flow. He can be very goofy."
Goofy? Since when am I goofy? What are you talking about?
I know, right? She doesn't know you at all.
That's just insulting. Whoa, got a big old hole in my head. Meow. But not like I'm goofy or anything. So, shall we get the show on the road then with a little bit of reading?
Nope.
No.
Not until 5:30.
Not until 5:30.
Yes, just chat, I don't know, do an interpretive dance, something like that. Can't wait till I can see that on screen.
Yes, I know. Just bear with me here for a moment.
There, you're dancing. Yay!
Yay, I'm dancing! Woo! I'm dancing a few seconds ago. Let's see. Let's see what that is. Whoa. The book's gone. It's just this
We have
empty hole in
53 people
space.
watching.
Oh,
52.
come on. I hate this,
Really?
this camera's auto thing.
There, if you put it right in front of your face, it shows up.
And then it go all red again.
Damn it.
Trying to fix the color here. Did that work? Not really.
Does Mad Lib count as story time? No, but that would be so cool.
What would be so cool? Sorry?
Doing Mad Libs. Maybe you and I both doing Mad Libs for story time.
Maybe. I don't know.
We might have to try that.
I'm sorry, I'm too busy focusing on getting my imagery down properly here. What is with the colors? Getting all messed up.
You can figure it out.
That is so annoying.
You got some time.
Do we need to...
I don't know who that is. Ren Hoke?
Hoek from Ren and Stimpy.
Do you know this person? Do you know how to do that?
Kinda.
Okay. The magical forest is getting aggressive. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, what?
I'm not gonna tell you. That's a good one. Chris Howerton just came up with a unique one.
Did he?
Yeah. Now I gotta make sure. Now I gotta make sure that it's who I thought it was. Oh, it's not. Who was I thinking of?
I don't know.
Ah, yes. Very close. Very close.
What are we thinking?
He asked for Michael Rosen.
Michael Rosen.
Who is a poet. And I thought he meant Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Right.
So I got all excited.
All the Twitter.
Yes, I was all abuzz. Michael Wayne Rosen is an English children's novelist, poet, and the author of 140 books. And he's not doing good.
And I'm suddenly movie sign. It's turned into a shadow. There we go. Now I'm black and white. Ah! See, it's fun when I'm doing it on purpose. But I guess this will have to do. With my weird orange tint, it looks sunburned. Let's see, where did my water go? Ah, there it is. Excuse me a moment.
Do you have plenty of water on hand?
Mm-hmm. Here we are. So what's going on in channel here?
I was looking for something, so I'm very behind. Trying to write many voices here.
Oompa loompa bubbity show. Thank you. You just love talking dog movies. That is a horrible smear on my on my character, Grace, and you take that back.
And Grace, I doubt he knows who John Oliver is.
I do.
Really?
Don't know if I could do him. Yes, he was the remake of Zazu, I believe.
Oh, that's right. You do know who John Oliver is. Well, shut my mouth.
Well, if it's squeaky, no.
Oh, it's already on the list, baby.
Nah. Why?
Mal's on there too.
Okay, here's Mal for you. I'm so bad. I'm so evil. God, I hate that movie. Made that to the kid. No, you're not. You're whiny little posers, and you know it. We're so evil. And I'm pretty sure I saw Brent in that list somewhere.
Don't worry, his thoughts on on Maleficent 2, Mistress of All Evil, you'll find out. It's coming.
Ugh.
And don't give nothing away.
Like I told you when we started watching it, where can it possibly go? Am I suddenly going to do a 180 and say, oh my god, this is the best movie ever?
Maybe.
Ugh.
You know what's good for you.
Mm.
I can't wait till they make a Beauty and the Beast sequel.
You shut your mouth.
Wide open, baby.
They already made 2 awful direct-to-video sequels. They don't need to do that on the big screen.
Don't worry, there's a Robin Hood live remake coming. I am all about it, man. I want them to get Wayne Brady in the fox costume from Masked Singer to play Robin Hood.
That's not what it's gonna be. Do you know what it's gonna be?
What's it gonna be?
It's gonna be anthropomorphic animals in CGI, similar to Zootopia. Guys, it's not live action! It's just a different kind of animation. And you know what? If you're gonna do anything, as far as remaking Robin Hood goes, take the original animation cells and render them properly like you would an actual Disney film instead of the crap that they actually churned out. Take the time to actually give it proper inking, proper painting, make it look like something Uncle Walt would do. Make him proud, as opposed to just doing the cheap Xeroxing thing that they were forced to do, since all the movies at the time that they were making out that turned out to be financial disasters. Just, if you're gonna remake it, take the original animation and make that good. Just because, no, it's going to fail. Do you know why?
Why?
Because CGI has ruined the animation medium. Because of CGI, we're expecting everything to be hyper-realistic. Nothing can just be strange and whimsical anymore. Just look at the original movie and think about it. What do we have? We have a movie that's taking place in medieval England, except it's full of American Southerners, and it's set to folk country music.
Have you ever seen the Spiderwick Chronicles?
No, I have not.
I watched that this past weekend with my son, and I thought it was really good. And he said that the CGI seemed to be a pretty good quality. There was one scene that it was not.
No. I'm not talking about the quality of CGI versus that of hand-drawn animation, but we're not allowed to take things at face value anymore. Everything needs to be super explained. Everything needs to be completely, unbelievably realistic, as opposed to other movies of previous generations that you just kind of accepted because you knew that it wasn't real. I can look at Disney's Robin Hood with the critical eye that I have now, and I'm thinking, wow, this is a really, really weird movie. But nobody was thinking that back then. They just accepted it for what it was.
Ninth Planet, he has never seen Avatar, The Last Airbender.
No.
So he can't do Zuko.
I'm afraid not, sorry.
Neither the movie nor the series.
I'm sorry, I hear how awesome a show it is, but I'm never gonna get over the first TV spot that I saw. Do you want to go penguin sledding with me?
What?
Exactly! What?
What did you say?
Do you want to go penguin sledding with me?
Penguin sledding?
I don't know, it's from Japan! And that's all that I heard. Hi, I'm a Japanese cartoon, and I'm frickin' weird.
Oh boy.
Yes, I know. Such a sin for a nerdy guy like me to say, I don't like anime. How dare I?
What's your favorite Descendants song?
I'm afraid to ask why. Are we just making conversation here, or are we taking suggestions?
It was one of the questions, and I don't see it coming up in a future review, so I figured it was safe to throw it at you.
Okay. Keep me off the Robin Hood rant. Favorite Descendants song? Because they did sound good for what they were. Just terribly out of place. I'm not a fan of pop, either, so I don't know how to judge it. Although, for being the strippery, pole dancey song that it was. I guess Evie's song sounded okay when she was getting all makey-outy with Doug.
Lips, Evie, lips!
She loves Kiska's on the lips! Nah.
I like, Wicked.
Wicked. The
You
musical?
got all the ways to be, W-I-C-K-E-D.
Okay, that sounded nice too.
I like that one. Most of the songs were really catchy. Made no
Yeah.
sense in context of the movie, but they were really good.
They were totally betraying to her character, but regardless, don't you wanna be evil like
No,
me?
that's not one. Well, good. Uma, What's My Name? I love that song.
Oh.
And I saw a mashup of What's My Name and Queen of Mean on
Yes,
YouTube.
that was it. That was it.
It's so good. They have an amazing soundtrack. Too bad the movies are crap.
It's a
Narnia.
It's a good album.
Video on demand of the Halloween stream. It's up on his channel. You can see the whole thing. But yes, I'm glad you're here for this one live.
Say what now?
Narnia said they're still sad they missed the Halloween stream.
Oh,
So at least
yes.
able to catch this one. And I said, yes, but you could always
It
see
is there.
their-
It is there, yes.
Yes. Gotta get back to writing down voices.
I
Talk
am.
amongst yourselves.
I was gonna say I'm noticing that it's 5:30 now. Do we want to start?
Yes, just a minute. We have a sponsored post for you to start with.
Oh, Joey. Who's it
Yes,
for?
give me 1 second to get there.
Sure.
Oh, well, you gotta give me bleh. Sorry. Raven.exe has stopped working. A voice suggestion when you throw up a sponsored post.
Yes, we do need that.
Nick K. Rule.
And thank you for making me think of King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country being curvy in all the right places. Ugh.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dylan, I don't know Cowboy Bebop. And Raven's just bobbing along, having a good time.
Sorry.
Oh no, don't apologize for having fun, that's what we're here for. Oh my goodness, the 9th planet is from a time zone in space where it's almost 3 a.m.
Where in the world are you from?
Europe?
Well, that's not it. You can narrow it down a bit more than that.
Well,
Oh, you guys are suggesting all of these. I've got you covered. I am not writing them down in order. Whenever you suggest one of the horrible names, I'm writing it in a random spot so they're kind of evenly spaced out. Otherwise, we do them all at once.
I was gonna say, I just saw Pee-wee and Trump holding hands.
Did you do Maddie Hat? Can you do Maddie Hatter's voice? Do you think you are familiar enough? I just can't talk. You are familiar enough to do Maddie Hatter's voice?
I could give her a try. Only one way to find out.
Okay. Gotcha. Thick, or X rule, or K rule.
Thick hair rule, yes. Ugh.
You will be the second sponsored post.
And who did he suggest?
Bridget from the Swan Princess.
Ah. Creepy.
Okay. No, yours is first, Tyrant. X.
Spoochie give you extra pucker.
Okay. Are you ready to start?
I am ready to start.
Alright, what story are we reading first?
we are doing The Wizard of Oz, Chapter 13. Starting with who? Sorry?
Sponsored post, Jeff Goldblum, heavy on the Uz. He's the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, God.
Yes, that's not my joke.
The Cowardly Lion was much pleased to hear that the Wicked Witch had been melted by a bucket of water, yes. And Dorothy at once unlocked the gate of his prison, and she set him free. That's all I could do with him. Next.
I love him. Bridget from the Swan Princess.
That's right.
They went together to the castle, where Dorothy's first act was to call in the Winkies together and tell them that they were no longer slaves, you big nutty!
Oh my god. Too accurate.
There was great rejoicing among the yellow Winkies, for they had been made to work hard during many years for the Wicked Witch, and she was so naughty too. Bridget missed those days.
What are you, lady?
This kept this day as a holiday, or they kept this day as a holiday, and then and ever after, and spent the time in feasting and dancing and giving big pucker.
Next.
Oh my god. The next is an enormous sponsored post from King Gabe.
Oh dear.
So there's several voices in here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ramsley from the Haunted Mansion is the first one. If it's the Haunted Mansion, he can probably do it.
Probably yes.
If our friends, the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman, were only with us, said the Lion, I should be quite happy. I'm so happy right now, can't you tell? Don't worry, or don't you suppose we could rescue them? Asked the girl anxiously. We can try, answered the Lion.
Next.
Next is, okay, I don't know if this is all from the same show. He said Dracula, Penguin, and Joker from the Joker. Does the Joker have Dracula?
From Joker?
The Joker.
I'm thinking this must be the Batman reference because all those characters are in the Batman vs. Dracula.
Okay, well then start with Dracula.
Starting with Dracula.
So they called the Yellow Winkies and asked them if they would help to rescue their friends. And the Winkies said that they would be delighted to do all in their power for Dorothy, who had set them free from bondage. So she chose a number of the Winkies who looked as if they knew the most, and they all started away.
And next, Penguin.
They traveled that day and part of the next until they came to the rocky plain where the Tin Woodman lay, all battered and bent. His axe was near him, but the blade was rusted and the handle broken off short.
And Joker himself.
I'm sorry, Tom Kenny. Again, very talented voice actor, but everything you touch that I review is just ew. No. And no skids and mud flap. Shut up.
He's reading from The Wizard of Oz.
Bing. And Joker.
Yes.
The Winkies lifted him tenderly in their arms and carried him back to the Yellow Castle again. Dorothy shedding a few tears by the way that the sad plight of her old friend, and the Lion looking sober and sorry. Then they reached the castle and Dorothy said to the Winkies, "Are any of your people tinsmiths?" Yes.
I love that. The Winkies.
Yes, the scary green-faced guards from the movie. We are called the Winkies. Oh yes, some of us are very good tinsmiths, they told her. Then bring them to me, she said. And when the tinsmiths came, bringing with them all their tools and baskets, she inquired, can you strengthen out those dents in the Tin Woodman and bend him back into shape again and solder him together where he is broken?
Very good. Addie, Archer, and Anthony, I have your sponsored suggestions written down. So, I've never heard him do yours, Addie. So you may be ready to pick another one in case he doesn't know it.
Uh-oh.
He may know it. I don't know. The next one, we have 3 more in the big sponsored post from King Gabe. The next one is Lego Batman.
The Tinsmiths looked at the Tin Woodman over and carefully... looked him over carefully and then answered that they thought that they would mend him so he would be as good as ever. So they set to work in one of the big yellow rooms of the castle and worked for 3 days and 4 nights, hammering and twisting and bending and soldering and polishing and pounding all the legs and bodies... or pounding at the legs and body and the head of the Tin Woodman until at last he was straightened out into his old form, and his joints worked as well as ever. To be sure, there were several patches on him, but the Tinsmiths did a good job, and as the Tin Woodman was not a vain man, he did not mind the patches at all. Because he's the Woodman.
Will Arnett.
Next.
The next one, Harry Hook.
Ugh.
Thank you, King Gabe. I love that one.
You're welcome, baby.
When at last he walked into Dorothy's room and thanked her for rescuing him, he was so pleased that he wept tears of joy, and Dorothy had to wipe every tear carefully from his face with her apron, so his joints would not be rusted. Is this weird enough for you?
Well, as soon as YouTube catches up for me. Okay, you've just started doing all the Harry Hook motions.
Okay, so there's not too much of a lag. Good to know.
It's a pretty good amount.
Well, still, yeah.
Okay, and finally for King Gabe is Captain Hook from the original Disney Peter Pan.
As for the lion, he wiped his eyes so often with the tip of his tail that it became quite wet, and he was obliged to go out into the courtyard and hold it in the sun until it dried. If we only had the Scarecrow with us again, said the Tin Woodman, when Dorothy had finished telling him everything that had happened, I should be quite happy.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, now, next sponsored post. This one comes from Addie. Can you do a Howard Cosell?
Only second hand. I only know him from one reference from The Simpsons, and it's probably not a very good one, so... I don't know.
Okay, do that one, Addie. If you would like to suggest another one, then we could do that.
Yes. We must try to find him, said the girl. So she called the Winkies to help her, and they walked all that day and part of the next until they came to the tall tree in the branches of which the winged monkeys had tossed the Scarecrow's clothes. So he's running around naked somewhere? Is that what's going on? Next.
Okay, if that one suffices for Addie, that's great. If not, we'll have another one from Addie. Archer sponsored a post saying, since you're reading The Wizard of Oz, let's hear your best Ozzy Osbourne. Which I think is a great idea.
Oh my god, why wasn't he in the Muppets Wizard of Oz? Kelly Osbourne? Why her? Let's see.
It's a very tall tree, and the trunk is so smooth that no one could climb it. But the woodman said at once, "Oh, chop it down, and then we can get to the Scarecrow's effing clothes."
Doing him hurts.
Being him, hurts, I imagine.
Yeah. Next.
The other part of that sponsored post is, since you did Bridget, how about her big, what was it, a big sexy or big
Big Naughty.
Big Naughty, yes, Rothbart.
Oh, Lord. Oh, yes, Big Naughty likes that quite a bit. Now, while the tinsmiths had been at work mending the woodman himself, another of the Winkies, who was a goldsmith, had made an axe handle of solid gold and fitted it to the woodman's axe instead of the old broken handle. Others polished the blade until all the rust was removed and it glistened like burnished silver. Thank you for making that especially creepy.
Yes, very, very good. Okay, and the final sponsored post for the moment is from Anthony, and he would like a Christopher Walken. One of my personal favorites when he does.
Always a classic.
Yes. Not because I think it's sexy, but because because Walken's a lot of things, but sexy is definitely not up there. Not in my opinion. So.
I was gonna say, somebody thinks he's sexy.
I am sure.
Somebody
I
is
am positive.
Somebody is turned on by that.
Bless their heart.
As soon as he had spoken, the Tin Woodman began to chop, and in a short time, the tree fell over with a crash. When the Scarecrow's clothes fell out of the branches and rolled off on the ground, wow, Dorothy picked them up and had the Winkies carry them back to the castle.
I don't know why the Winkies make me laugh. The Winkies.
Because it's Winkies. It's cute.
It is.
Let's see where they're at. Dorothy picked them up and had the Winkies carry them back to the castle, where they were stuffed with nice, clean straw, and behold, here was the Scarecrow, as good as ever, thanking them over and over again for saving him. Ooby-doo, I want to be like you.
I love it. Okay. So
that could be the only reason why he was cast for King Louie. He was having lunch with Jon Favreau one day, and just out of nowhere. I want to be like you. Yes, we gotta make that movie.
why?
Because he just started singing "Ooby-Doo, I want to be like you" from nowhere. It just.
Goodness.
Next.
For our first non-sponsored post of the evening. Hang on, I was in the middle of writing.
Thank you for all the
my
lovely
brain
sponsors.
is not working.
Uh-oh.
Boomhauer.
Oh God.
If I remember correctly, it's funny.
It's
a
funny.
voice.
It is funny, but very hard. But I can do it.
Just a little bit.
Kinda.
Save your voice. You got a lot of voices.
Hey man, now that they were reunited, man, Dorothy and her friends spent a few happy days in the Yellow Castle where they found everything in the city and became very comfortable. One day the girl thought of Aunt Em and said, "You must go back to Oz and claim his promise." Yes, so the Tin Woman, we shall get back to my heart, man. Tell you what, man.
Goodness gracious. Okay. We have Anthony Watson with sponsored post again. And not too many in the same sponsored post. I know it's a tradition that Gabe started, but then
He's monopolizing the sponsor system.
It's okay, but I am gonna hold on to one of the ones that you suggested, Anthony, because I'm using it as a palate cleanser out of one of these horrible voices that's coming up soon.
Oh, did he suggest a good one?
He suggested Billy Connolly. I'm holding on to that one. I'm keeping that one. Sorry. Christopher Lee.
You You might even say that you're holding on to that one as your trump card.
No, it's actually my Gilbert God-Awful voice card.
But
You guys
Christopher
don't
Lee.
understand.
Oh, we understand and we love it.
Terrible people.
Christopher Lee?
Yes.
Yes, said the woodman. At last I shall get my heart, and I shall get my brains, added the Scarecrow joyfully. I'm so very joyful right now. And I shall get my courage, said the Lion thoughtfully. And I shall get back to Kansas, cried Dorothy, clapping her hands. Oh, let us start for the Emerald City tomorrow.
And suddenly I'm seeing Christopher Lee in a gingham dress and pigtails.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
No.
Oh, come on, tell me that would be awesome.
More like horrifying.
Next.
Next is Vincent Price.
This they decided to do. The next day, they called the Winkies together and bade them goodbye. The Winkies were sorry to have them go, and they had grown so fond of the Tin Woodman that they begged him to stay and rule over them and the Yellow Land of the West. Finding they were determined to go, the Winkies gave Toto and the Lion each a golden collar, and to Dorothy they presented a beautiful bracelet studded with diamonds, and to the Scarecrow they gave a gold-headed walking stick to keep him from stumbling, and to the Tin Woodman they offered a silver oil can inlaid with gold and set with precious jewels. So these Winkies have a lot of riches on them, which the witch just ignored, I guess. I'm just gonna use you for slave labor and that's it. Sure you don't want to sell us our freedom? Nah, slavery is fine. Come here.
And the final on the sponsored post is Tim Curry Regular. So just Tim Curry being Tim Curry, I guess.
Just Tim Curry being Tim Curry. That I can do.
I love Tim Curry.
Every one of the travelers made the Winkies a pretty speech in return, and all shook hands with them until their arms ached. Dorothy went to the witch's cupboard to fill her basket with food for the journey, and there she saw the golden cap. She tried it on her own head and found that it fitted her exactly. She did not know exactly about the charm of the golden cap, but she saw that it was pretty, so she made up her mind to wear it and carry her sunbonnet in the basket. Then, being prepared for the journey, they all started for the Emerald City, and the Winkies gave them 3 cheers and many good wishes to carry with them.
Pop singers and rappers, he's not gonna know those.
I'm sorry, probably not, no. Unless it's like a really, really huge and obvious concession, like maybe Michael Jackson or something, but on the whole, no. And that is it for Chapter 13. On to Chapter 14, The Winged Monkeys. Starting with who?
Starting with our second non-sponsored voice of the evening.
Somebody sponsors, I love it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. John Wayne.
You will remember there was no road, not even a pathway, between the castle of the Wicked Witch and the Emerald City. When the 4 travelers went in search of the witch, she had seen them coming, and so sent the winged monkeys to bring them to her. It was much harder to find their way back through the big fields of buttercups and bright daisies than when it was being carried. They knew, of course, they must go straight east, toward the rising sun, and they started off in the right way, Pilgrim. Next.
Very good. No, come back. Tommy Wiseau. We went the entire Halloween live stream, and he never got to Tommy Wiseau. It's the first time that I think I've ever done a live story time with him that he didn't do Tommy.
I think so, yes.
So, I missed it. So give us some Tommy Wiseau.
Well, that or they didn't suggest it, maybe? I don't know.
I think it was suggested, but was really late in the stream when someone suggested it, and we didn't make it there.
Maybe.
But at noon, when the sun was over their heads, they did not know which was east and which was west.
Because they couldn't just keep going in a straight line for some reason.
And that was the reason they were lost in the great fields. They kept on walking, however, and at night the moon came out and shone brightly, so they lay down among the sweet-smelling scarlet flowers and slept soundly until next morning. But the Scarecrow, all but the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman. The next morning the sun was behind the cloud and they started on, as if they were quite sure which way they were going. "If we walk far enough," said Dorothy, we shall sometime come to see a place, I'm sure."
Next.
Oops, I forgot I was muted because I was typing. Joker, Cesar Romero.
But day by day passed away, and they still saw nothing before them but the scarlet fields. The Scarecrow began to grumble a bit. "We have surely lost our way," he said, "and unless we find it again in time to reach the Emerald City, I shall never get my brains." "Nor I my heart," declared the Tin Woodman. "It seemed to me I could scarcely wait till I get to Oz, and you must admit, this is a very long journey."
Wow.
Thank you.
That was good. Happy from Snow White.
Pass.
Okay. Mirror from Snow White.
"You see," said the Cowardly Lion with a whimper, "I haven't the courage to keep tramping forever without getting anywhere at all." Then Dorothy lost heart. She sat down on the grass and looked at her companions, and they sat down and looked at her, and Toto found that for the first time in his life, he was too tired to chase a butterfly that flew past his head. So he put out his tongue and panted and looked at Dorothy, as if to ask what they should do next. "I do so love pretty butterflies. Look at how they flutter so." Next.
Next is Bernie Sanders.
"Suppose we call the field mice," he suggested. "They could probably tell us the way to the Emerald City." "To be sure they could," cried the Scarecrow. "Why didn't we think of that before?" And I'm done. That's all I'm getting.
That's all you're getting?
That's all that I'm doing, because I'm dropping out of this reading.
Hey! I will divorce you right here on stream.
Come on!
You will respect Bernie in this house.
Which house?
My house. The one that I'm modding for you, unless you want to do this on your own. Up to you. Let me know.
Dorothy blew the little whistle she had always carried.
Come on, that was good. You're trying to hold back that smile, but it's huge.
You can't see me.
I can see you.
That was my John Cena impression.
Dorothy blew the little whistle she had always carried about her neck since the Queen of the Mice had given it to her. In a few minutes, they heard the pattering of tiny feet, and many of the small gray mice came running up to her. Among them was the Queen herself, who asked in her squeaky little voice, "What can I do for you, my friends?"
Oh my god.
This little tiny birdie mouse. "What can I do for you?"
Really little, but really loud.
Yes!
That's Bernie. That's Bernie right there. Okay. Generic Boston accent.
Pass.
Doc Brown.
"We have lost our way," said Dorothy. "Can you tell us where the Emerald City is?" "Certainly," answered the Queen, "but it is a great way off, for you have had it at your backs all this time."
They were going for days and they were going the wrong way. You guys suck at this.
Then she noticed Dorothy's golden cap and said, "Why don't you use the charm of the cap and call the winged monkeys to you? They will carry you to the city of Oz in less than an hour."
So basically, the mouse just said to Dorothy, who is beholding the golden cap, "Roads? Where you're going, you don't need roads." Ba 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 ba. Here come the winged monkeys. Next.
Next is Wallace Shawn. And this time I remember who he is.
"I didn't know there was a charm," answered Dorothy in surprise. "It's inconceivable!" "What is it?" "It is written inside the golden cap," replied the Queen of the Mice. "But if you are going to call the winged monkeys, we must run away, for they are full of mischief, and think it is great fun to plague us." "Won't they hurt me?" asked the girl anxiously. "Oh no, they must obey the wearer of the cap. Goodbye!" And she scampered out of sight, with all the mice hurrying after her.
Very good, Wallace Shawn.
Thank you.
Starscream.
Dorothy looked inside the golden cap and saw some words written upon the lining. These, she thought, must be the charm, so she read the directions and put the cap on her head. "Epe, Pepe, Kake," she said, standing on her left foot.
That's what it says. It says EP-PE, comma, PEP-PE, comma, KAK-KE, exclamation point. Epe, Pepe, Keke. Which, if I remember properly, was read by Crazy Steve a few streams ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And I completely lost my train of thought. Who was I doing?
Starscream.
Starscream, that's right, thank you.
"What did you say?" asked the Scarecrow, who did not know what she was doing. "Hilo, holo, hello," Dorothy went on, standing this time on her right foot.
Are you giving some kind of winky charm, or are you just stupid?
I'm stupid! I'm stupid!
Next.
Yes, Chris. Biden is going to be president. Yay. Can't wait to vote for him.
I'm so happy for winning the nomination for Senate. Wait, what?
Shut up. That's all we've got. Okay, next is... Oh boy. Mal.
You can't see it yet, but my smile is slowly melting away.
"Hello," replied the Tin Woodman calmly. "Fizzy, Zuzi, Zick," said Dorothy, who is now standing on both feet. This ended the saying of the charm, and they heard a great chattering and flapping of wings And as the band of winged monkeys flew up to them, the king bowed low before Dorothy and asked, "What is your command?" "Because I want to do good."
Oh my god.
For those of you who have not seen my review for Ever After High, I will give this much of a little bit of a spoiler. I did not care for it. But I will give it all the props in the world for deciding that our Mal stand-in, the daughter of the evil queen, who is named Raven Queen, she decides that she does not like the evil reputation that her evil mother has given her, and she sticks with it. She's not flip-flopping.
She's not conflicted. She's not...
Oh. Yeah, yes, conflicted. Let's call Mal that, shall we? No, do you know what she was? Badly written. But no.
Yeah.
Raven Queen decided, I don't like people thinking that I'm gonna grow up to be evil. I don't want to be evil. And then... she doesn't. She doesn't do anything to try to become evil in a later episode or anything. Oh my god! Consistency! Sorry. Next voice.
I don't know that you know this one. It's a sponsored post from 9 the Middleman 9. Judge Judy?
Pass.
Okay. Make another suggestion. You don't have to do another sponsored post. I'll be, it's better. And if you at me where it stands out, that'd be great.
Yes, let's
But
do
come
that.
up with a different suggestion for that.
Sorry.
You don't know all the voices. My goodness. Don't apologize.
Sorry. Sorry.
Stop it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Rat Trap.
"Yeah, we wish to go to the Emerald City," said the child, "and we have lost our way." "We will carry you," replied the king. And no sooner had he spoken than two of the monkeys caught Dorothy in their arms and flew away with her. Others took the Scarecrow and the Woodman and the Lion, and a little monkey seized Toto and flew after them, although the dog tried hard to bite him.
Yeah, thanks, little ingrate.
Lord Zed from the Power Rangers.
Pass.
Yoda.
Pardon me while I wet my whistle here.
Frightened at first were the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman, for remembered they how badly the winged monkeys had treated them before? But they saw that no harm was intended, so rode together they were through the air quite cheerfully, and had a fine time looking at the pretty gardens and woods far below them. Dorothy found herself riding easily between the two of the biggest monkeys, one of them's the king himself. They had made a chair of their hands and were careful not to hurt her.
Gotta end on that. Next.
I did miss it, Addie, but now I have found it. Okay, so sponsored post that I completely overlooked.
Uh-oh.
James Stewart. If you can't do James Stewart,
Pass.
Patrick Stewart. Captain Picard.
Yes. the monkey captain from Spark. Who are you? George. Curious. Really, movie. Anyway. Why do you have to obey the charm of the golden cap, she asked. That is a long story, answered the king with a laugh. But as we have a long journey before us, I will pass the time by telling you about it, if you wish. Make it so. Once, began the leader, we were a free people living happily in the great forest, flying from tree to tree. And with my girl by my side, I would sing. No. Yes, Picard's a lumberjack and he's okay.
Okay.
And doing just as we please while calling anybody master. There we go. Next.
Okay, the replacement voice for 9 the Middleman 9 Mr. Plinkett. I don't know who that is.
You've heard me do them before.
Okay.
Perhaps some of us were rather too full of mischief at times, lying down to pull the tails of the animals that had no wings, chasing birds, and throwing nuts at people who walked in the forest. But we were careless and happy and full of fun, and enjoyed every minute of the day. This was many years ago, long before Oz came out of the clouds to rule over this land. You want a pizza roll?
Okay. A sponsored post from Tom Jackson.
Hello, Tom.
Read as Mr. Kim while struggling to fight the Mongolian. I don't know what that means, but I have a bad feeling it's racist.
Oh, incredibly so.
Oh. Damn it, Tom.
There lived here then, away in the north, a beautiful princess, who was also a powerful sorceress. All her magic was used to help the people, and she was never known to hurt anyone who was good.
Not worth it. It's not worth it. Refund.
It is totally worth it.
Refund.
Her name was Gayorette, and she lived in a handsome palace built from great blocks of ruby. Everyone loved her, but her greatest sorrow was that she could find no one to love her in return, since all the men were much too stupid and ugly to mate with one so beautiful and wise.
Are we done?
Almost.
You stupid Mongolians! Stop knocking down my shitty wall!
Oh my god.
And she is mortified.
Ninth Planet, I see a sponsored post, but you didn't make a voice suggestion. Please make a voice suggestion. A non-racist one, preferably. I beg you. Okay, that's a voice.
Hey, did you know that China and Japan are two totally different countries?
Oh, really?
Yoda!
We just did him.
Oh god, I'm completely thrown off. Rin Hoke.
Hoek.
Rin and Stimpy. Do Rin and Stimpy.
At last, however, she found the boy who was so handsome and manly and wise beyond his years. Gaylett made up her mind that when he grew up to be a man, she would make him her husband.
So she discovered a man who was handsome and wise, but underage. Thanks, Wizard of Oz.
The sponsored post is Obi-Wan, but he slowly gets burned by the fires of Mustafar.
Obi-Wan? He didn't get burned by the fires of Mustafar.
I don't know, it's Star Wars. I don't know.
Why do I date you? Ha! Now you know how it feels!
I don't know either.
Oh, you know.
No, I don't know why you date me. I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Oh, that's hilarious. I thought you were saying you don't know why you date me. Oh, I know why you date me. But then you turn that around so that's like your reason for me dating you. Oh, so you've got a big... Anyway. Moving on!
Yes, just go, just no, just do the voice. Obi-Wan being burned up. That sounds fun.
Okay. So she took him to a ruby palace and used all her magic powers to make him as strong and good, as lovely as any woman could wish. She took this little kid and turned him into a gorgeous Adonis, all for her. Okay? When he grew to manhood, Quilala, as he was called, was said to be the best and wisest man in all the land, while his manly beauty was so great that the Gaelic loved him dearly and hastened to make everything ready for the wedding. And because I don't know how he would sound burning, here we go. Oh my god, I'm burning! Please put me out, Anakin! And now bear in mind, we are listening to the story that Dorothy asked of how the winged monkeys fell under the power of the Wicked Witch of the West. Seems like a bit of a deviation here, but okay. Next.
We have a sponsored post. We have 2 sponsored posts. The first one is from Sean, and he would like some Mike Wazowski.
Okay. My grandfather was at that time the king of the winged monkeys, which lived in the forest near Galet's palace, and the old fellow loved a joke better than a good dinner. One day, just before the wedding, my grandfather was flying out with his band when he saw Quilala walking beside the river. He was dressed in a rich costume of pink silk and purple velvet. Oh god, she turned him into her own personal Ken doll. And my grandfather thought that he would see what he could do. At his word, the band flew down and seized Quilala, carried him in their arms until they were over the middle of the river, and dropped him into the water. Thank you, Mike. Next.
Next is the sponsored post. There's 2 voices in the sponsored post from the Pretzel 2. The first one is me.
You're always a fan favorite, and I don't know why.
I don't know why. You sound nothing like me.
I can kind of speak in your inflection. I can kind of sort of raise my pitch a little bit into something slightly more feminine, but otherwise, no, I'm terrible.
But they're giving you money, so dance, monkey, dance.
Oh. That's all I am to you people, just a dancing monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I gotta pause here before I continue. I remember how, when you started making your very first appearances on my show, there were those who thought that you were my own fabrication.
I know.
I am very flattered, sir, that you think I have that kind of control over my voice, but trust me, if I could do that with my voice, I would not be reviewing kids' movies. If I was Raven Fox of Raven Fox Audio, I would own it.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
Hello, all my naughty boys and girls. But, okay.
The family show.
Raven, here we go. Swim out, my fine fellow, cried my grandfather, and see if the water has spotted your clothes. Quilala was much too wise not to swim, and he was not in the least spoiled by all his good fortune. He laughed when he came to the top of the water, and swam in to shore. But when Galet came running out to him, she found his silks and velvet all ruined by the river. And there we go.
Thank you. That was pretty good.
I guess.
The other half of that sponsored post is the Chamberlain from Dark Crystal. One of my favorites.
That's everybody's favorites.
It is. It's amazing.
The princess was angry, and she knew, of course, who did it. She had all the winged monkeys brought before her, and she said at first that their wings should be tied, and they should be treated as they had treated Quilala, and dropped in the river. But my grandfather pleaded hard, for he knew the monkeys would drown in the river if they had wings tied, and Quilala sent in a kind word for them also, so that Galet finally spared them, on condition that the winged monkeys should never have to do 3 times the bidding of the owner of the golden cap, This cap had been made for a wedding present to Quilala, and it is said to have cost the princess half her kingdom.
Holy crap.
Of course, my grandfather and all the other monkeys at once agreed to the condition, and that is how it happens that we are 3 times the slaves of the owner of the golden cap, whoever he may be.
Very good. Excellent, Chamberlain.
Thank you.
Hang on, I have to read this. Killer Katie says, plot twist, Bob is being puppeted by Raven this entire time. She has amazing voice range.
Bum!
Yes, I am the puppet master. You have figured it out. Okay, anyway. Where are we? Oh my goodness. Okay, so now we're not on the sponsored post. You did you do Ren and Stimpy? Hello?
You can't see because of the lag. I'm puppeting myself to you.
You're an idiot.
You love it.
Did you do Ren and Stimpy?
I did, yes.
Okay. And you don't know who Michael Rosen is?
No, I do not.
Okay. Nicolas Cage.
And what became of them? Asked Dorothy, who has been greatly interested in...
I'm sorry, Nicolas Cage is Dorothy.
We're off to see the wizard, yeah. Quilala, being the first owner of the golden cap, replied the monkey, he was the first to lay his wishes upon us. As his bride could not bear the sight of us, he called us all to him in the forest, and after he had married her, and ordered all us to keep where she could never again set eyes on a winged monkey, which we were glad to do, for we were all afraid of her. Not the monkeys! Ah!
Next.
Okay, sponsored post. Big whopping $15 sponsored post from Gabe.
Oh my god, Gabe, come on.
Second one of the evening. So, okay, hang on. Let me get to that. First one is Sebastian from The Little Mermaid.
This was all we ever had to do until the golden cap fell into the hands of the wicked witch of the west, who made us enslave the Winkies, and afterward drive Oz himself out of the land of the west. Now the golden cap is yours, and 3 times you have the right to lay your wishes upon us, man. Don't throw that baby!
And Hades from Disney's Hercules.
Oh god. As the Monkey King finished his story, Dorothy looked down and saw the green, shining walls of the Emerald City before them. She wondered at the rapid flight of the monkeys, but was glad that the journey was over. The strange creatures set the travelers down carefully before the gate of the city. The king bowed low to Dorothy and then flew swiftly away, followed by all of his band. That was quite a ride, said the little girl. Yes, in a quick way out of my troubles, replied the lion. How lucky it was that you brought away that wonderful cap. And bada bing, bada boom, we're done.
Nice.
And that is it for Chapter 14. Chapter 15, The Discovery of Oz the Terrible. And boy, does he look terrible here.
I wonder if we'll be able to see it.
I am Oz, the great and powerful. Yeah.
See in a sec.
Yeah, he looks very tired. The Oz is, and the sleepless and tired.
Yes, Oz the Insomniac. And we are starting out this chapter with who?
The next voice in the sponsored post is Sam Elliott and Nicolas Cage from Ghost Rider.
Pass.
Okay. Adam West's Batman.
The 4 travelers walked up to the great gate of the Emerald City and rang the bell, old chum. After ringing several times, it was opened by the same guardian of the gates that they had met before. What? Are you back again? He asked in surprise. Do you not see us? Answered the Scarecrow. but I thought you had gone to visit the Wicked Witch of the West. We did visit her, said the Scarecrow. Next.
Next is Blue from Blue's Clues. Didn't you do a Blue's Clues impression for one of your deliveries?
No, not for the delivery itself. What happened a few days ago, I was making one of my deliveries, and the customer's little girl was watching Blue's Clues, and she started speaking to me in Bluish. She was just in all of her excited 4-year-old glory.
Aww.
And I just sort of smiled and nodded and replied to her. And she just ran away giggling. Just the cutest thing ever. Oh my god.
Adorable.
Yes.
You should do kids' parties. That would be a nightmare for you. I don't know, if you were entertaining a bunch of children that you didn't actually have to take care of.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes, so long as the care falls into the hands of other, more capable adults than I, then we're good.
Yes, Bobsheaux is convinced that babies are breakable.
Yes, very much so. You cannot convince me otherwise. Humanity is a resilient species. I know that we are going to survive any catastrophe that comes our way. But babies, no. No, get it away. I don't want to hurt it.
They're surprisingly bouncy. They're very resilient little
I
children.
know, I've seen it. Because I hurt my nephew once. No!
Now you have to tell the story.
Yes, I do. My sister's only child is a rambunctious little man. And he will run around and climb over everything.
This is when he was a toddler.
Yes, and I'm about to explain that, and he has been doing so ever since he discovered that he could actually walk on those two appendages coming down from his hips. Holy crap, this is awesome! And he's running around here and there, and I'm at my parents' house visiting for a family gathering. I forget exactly what the occasion was, but I tried to catch him by holding out my arm to catch him, just to block him from running around. And again, rambunctious little child, and I have gotten kind of used to that. It's like, oh, okay, I don't really have all that much reason to be afraid of roughhousing with him. He's gonna be fine. He may trip here and there, but whatever. He's gonna bounce, as you said. I'm holding out my arm to catch him, and he trips over it and completely clotheslines head over heels and just flips over my arm. No! And he didn't have a fun time with that. He's a very sensitive young man as well, so...
Well, I have proof that babies are very resilient.
And I've spent about the better half... sorry, we'll get to what you want to say in a moment. I'm almost done here. And I spent the better part of the next half hour curled up in the stairs, just not wanting to interact with anybody. No, don't come near me!
Yes, you're a monster.
I am a monster. I hurt my
hurt the
nephew.
baby.
I hurt the baby. No. But sorry, your anecdote.
Mine is that the very first outing, as in on the way home from the hospital, my folks stopped at Sears to pick up something that I needed. I don't know what it was. And my dad was very proudly carrying me. I am a newborn, okay? And he had me in his arms, and my head was hanging over his arm just a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And he turned and rammed my head into a brick pillar in the store. My mother said that my father, my dad was super tough, very Clint Eastwood-like, cowboy hats, the whole boots, the whole tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
He cried longer than I did.
Oh, I'll
in
bet.
the middle of Sears, to the point that my mother said, "Would you stop crying? You're embarrassing me. The baby's fine." But to this day, I have a dent on my head from that pillar.
You never told me this story before.
Yes, I didn't know that I hadn't told you, but yes, I have a dent in my head.
Oh, honey, no.
He whacked me right in the soft spot. So it's lucky I didn't have brain damage, but it didn't break the skin. But it was enough that it messed up my soft spot. So I actually have like a little dent where my soft spot never really closed up the right way.
Oh.
But obviously I was okay. But my dad cried longer in the middle of Sears than I did.
Yes, you were okay. But is Daddy okay?
He wasn't for a while until my mom finally said, "When you stop crying, you're embarrassing me. The baby's fine."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Raven's father. That shouldn't have happened.
He said, "You take her. I don't deserve her."
I would say the exact same thing, word for word. No, I cannot care for this child.
No, Pretzel, I haven't thought about having a procedure. It's not a very big dent. I mean, if my head was shaved, you could see it, but I can feel it, so I know it's there, but it's not really noticeable. It's not like a huge dent in my head, but it's just a little,
This big
it's a very
scoop out of her skull.
yeah, just a little dent in my head that I can feel. I know where it is, but I'm okay. I don't need to have any kind of procedure. Okay.
I'm sorry, I must pause here for a moment.
Okay.
And I need to keep the stream going, but I must disappear from sight. Oh no, I'm gone!
The Ninth Planet says that their brother fell right through a glass table as a child.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
That does not sound fun.
No.
Let me see here. Talk amongst yourselves. I just need to...
I do not sneeze like a kitten, Tom. I have a perfectly normal sneeze.
Yes, it is so normal. Normal as in it's... Normal as it is...
I don't know what you got off stream to do, but we can still hear you. Just keep that in mind.
Good. Yes, I'm sorry, but I am baking in my lovely Wonka suit here. I must change into something more comfortable.
Ooh, and you turned off the screen. Damn!
What?
We're missing it! Keep in mind, guys, I told him before the stream that you guys were here for the voices.
Yes.
Not for the costume. He's talking about how hot it is in his room. I'm like, just wear something that's comfortable. No, I have to dress up. So, this is his stubbornness. So now he's all sweaty and hot.
But also call this dedication to the craft.
Mm-hmm.
This was me
I
trying...
do not sneeze like a Monchichi.
No, you sneeze perfectly normal.
It's a perfectly normal sneeze. That's not how I sneeze.
That is it. No, you sneeze more like this.
Shut up.
You're laughing because it's true.
Not true.
Yes, it is. You sneeze adorably. Uh-oh. You can't see her, but I can see that Raven has a face of some kind right now.
Oh.
Uh-oh, did something happen?
Sorry. There's a sad story.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry that happened.
What happened?
I'd rather not say it. It's in the comments. Let's I feel I'm not trying to minimize what happened, but let's not bring everybody down.
I'm
very sorry that happened to your mom.
Oh dear. Yes, whatever.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving into something a bit more breezy.
Yeah, well, come back, would you? I mean, the background's nice, but we'd like to... Oh, there you are.
Yes. I'm here.
Da-da-da.
I'm back! Does anybody notice I'm here now?
Yes. Well, because of the lag.
Yes. Yes,
You still have a couple of the sponsored posts from Gabe left to do. And
Yes,
then
I
we'll
do.
move on.
Yes, I do. And we're continuing with who?
Tim Curry as a pirate.
Only pirate I can think of is when he was Long John Silver in Muppet Treasure Island.
Maybe that's the one.
Let's see. It was Dorothy, said the lion gravely. Good gracious! Exclaimed the man, and he bowed very low indeed before her. Then he led them into his little room, and locked the spectacles from the great box on all their eyes, just as he had done before. Afterward, they had passed through the gate into the Emerald City, and when the people heard from the guardian of the gate that they had melted the Wicked Witch of the West, they all gathered around the travelers and followed them in great crowd to the Palace of Oz.
Your blue shirt has morphed into a purple shirt.
Yes, because my camera sucks, and I need a new one.
But I like that color on you.
You like me in purple? I would have never guessed.
I know, right? And finally, singing Linkara.
Pass. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Oh God.
Before I
Reached that point.
before I ask with whom we have reached that point, I need to try this out here. I just turned on my little fan here. Is this too loud? Too distracting?
Not for me.
Not for you.
But then I can't hear the music either.
No, you can't, can you? I'll just look into the chat and see what they're saying. Party show. Gabe, no.
That was not great, Gabe.
Home cruise?
Home cruise.
Yeah. Is that not King Gabe?
No.
I'm confused. Pardon me. Fan is okay. No, it's good for me. I can't hear the fan. Not really.
That's
Good. Because I got to breathe.
Yes, Bobsheaux could totally be the lost member of the Wiggles.
Wiggles?
The Wiggles! You don't know the Wiggles? Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. It's the Australian kids group.
Raven's doing an adorable little dance, and I'm so sorry that none of you at home can see it.
She's doing this kind of thing as she's dancing.
Shut up.
But anyway, at what
Okay.
point have we reached, sweetheart?
What? Oh, damn. Ruin the mood. Gilbert Godfrey.
The soldier with the green whiskers was still on guard before the door. But he let them in at once, and they were again met by the beautiful green girl, who showed them... What?
My ears are bleeding.
Who showed each of them into their own rooms at once, so they might rest until the Great Oz was ready to receive them. I'm freezing my nuts off!
I love you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And yes, Tom. Hot potato, hot potato. Tell my kids like the Wiggles.
We can tell you like the Wiggles.
Okay.
I'm kind of dancing like she is. to show you what she's doing.
All right. Wait a minute. But the next. Oh, get rid of Gilbert Godfrey. Billy Connolly.
I'm sorry. Wasn't Pee-wee your palate cleanser?
No. That is all the dirty palette.
Oh, it is so not. All the dirty palette, really.
The soldier had the news.
Pee-wee, what are you doing?
What?
That suggested Pee-wee.
Who suggested Pee-wee?
Come on.
No, there was a suggestion for Pee-wee in there.
See it. Locked it out. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll put it down for
Yes.
much later.
Yes, you have mentally blocked it from your memory. I know that much. No, Pee-wee, no. Anyway, Billy Connolly.
The soldier had the news getting straight to Oz that Dorothy and the other travelers had come back again, and after destroying the Wicked Witch, but Oz made no reply. They thought the Great Wizard would not, or would send for them at once, but he did not. They had no word from him the next day, nor the next, nor the next.
Wow, Oz is a dick.
The waiting was tiresome and wearing, and at last they grew vexed that Oz should treat them in so poor a fashion after sending them to undergo hardships and slavery.
Next.
And Maleficent.
Before I continue on with her, I must ask, did that cleanse the palate
Yes.
sufficiently enough?
I feel much better.
And now time to ruin it again.
So the Scarecrow at last asked the Green Girl to take another message to Oz, saying if he did not let them in to see him at once, they would call the winged monkeys to help them and find out whether he kept his promises or not. When the wizard was given the message, he was so frightened that he sent the word for them to come to the throne room at 4 minutes after the 9 o'clock the next morning, when he had once met the winged monkeys in the land of the West, and he did not wish to meet them again. He didn't want them to say, "I'm back!"
Next.
Don Knotts.
The four travelers passed a sleepless night, each thinking of the gift Oz had promised to bestow on him. Dorothy fell asleep only once, and then she dreamed she was in Kansas, where Aunt Em was telling her how glad she was to have her little girl home again. Promptly at 9 o'clock the next morning, the green whiskered soldier came to them, and 4 minutes later, they all went into the throne room of the Great Oz.
Next.
Master Panda.
Pass.
Black Arachnia.
Pass.
George W. Bush.
Of course, each one of them expected to see the wizard in the shape he had taken before, and all were greatly surprised when they looked about and saw no one in the room at all. They kept closer to the door and closer to one another, for the stillness of the empty room was more dreadful than any of the forms they had seen Oz take. Presently, they heard a voice, seeming to come from somewhere near the top of the great dome, and it said solemnly, "I am Oz, the great and terrible. Why do you seek me?" And tacos rule. I am done with that voice. Mission accomplished.
Oh, yes. The coachman from Pinocchio?
They looked again in every part of the room, and then, seeing no one, Dorothy asked, "Where are you?" "I am everywhere," answered the voice, "but to the eyes of the common mortals, I am invisible. I will now seat myself upon my throne, and you may converse with me." Indeed, the voice seemed just then to come straight from the throne itself, so they walked towards it and stood in a row while Dorothy said, "We have come to claim our promise, O Oz." "What promise?" asked Oz.
Next.
Sponsored post. There's 3 voices in this one.
Uh-oh.
One of which... Thanks, Anthony.
Uh-oh.
The first one is... I can never pronounce her name. Yzma?
Isma.
Isma. Okay.
"You promised to send me back to Kansas when the Wicked Witch was destroyed," said the girl. And you promised to give me brains, said the Scarecrow. And you promised to give me your heart, said the Tin Woodman. And you promised to give me courage, said the Cowardly Lion. Is the Wicked Witch really destroyed? Asked the voice, and Dorothy thought it trembled a little. Next. Uh-oh.
Kiwi. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up. Black is our secret word! Yes, she answered. I melted her with a bucket of water!
Dear me, said the voice.
How sudden! Well, come to me tomorrow, for I must have time to think it over. You've had plenty of time already, said the Tin Woodman angrily. We shan't wait a day longer, said the Scarecrow. You must keep your promises to us! Arr! Exclaimed Dorothy. I love you.
Sean Connery. As though Anthony is trying to make it up to me. I'm dying on the inside, the outside. I'm just dying everywhere, Graves.
And she just crumpled up the list of names. No, we're done.
Oh, I turned. Give me Sean Connery.
Ooh, she's angry. The lion thought it might as well to frighten the wizard, so he gave a large, loud roar, which was so fierce and dreadful that Toto jumped away from him in alarm and tipped over the screen that stood in the corner. As it fell with a crash, they looked that way, and the next moment all of them were filled with wonder, for they saw, standing in just the spot the screen had hidden, a little old man with a bald head and a wrinkled face, who seemed to be as much surprised as they were. The Tin Woodman, raising his axe, rushed toward the little man and cried out, "Who are you?" Next.
Thank you. Mr. Sassafras?
Pass.
Emperor Skexo. Oh, that's from Dark Crystal, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Very fitting for this guy who is totally not Oz the Great and Powerful. What?
Ban you.
What?
I'm about to ban the Ninth Planet.
Uh-oh, what did he say?
Sponsored post. Just do Emperor Skexo.
And then afterwards?
Pee-wee on a roller coaster.
Oh dear. Who suggested that?
The Ninth Planet is worth way more than $2. I object.
Thank you, Ninth Planet. I am never getting laid again. But starting with Skexo. Or Skexo, was that his name?
Skexo, yeah.
I am Oz the Great and Terrible, said the little man in a trembling voice. This is my trembling voice. But don't strike me. Please don't. And I'll do anything you want me to. Our friends looked at him in surprise and dismay. I thought Oz was a great head, said Dorothy. And I thought Oz was a lovely lady, said the Scarecrow. I am the Emperor of the Skeksis, and I am a lovely lady.
Oh god, the Skeksis females were the worst.
They were, yes.
They were grosser than the boys.
I'm the sexy one!
God, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does anyone have a hanky?
Way past hanky.
And I thought Oz was a terrible beast, said the Tin Woodman. And I thought Oz was a ball of fire, exclaimed the lion. No, he was.
Sexy said he knows it.
What?
Instead of he's sexy and he knows it, he's skexy and he knows it.
Oh Lord, no, 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 no!
Yes!
I'm Skexy and I knew it!
Oh. And then there was that fancy one. You couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a guy or a girl. What are you?
I am beautiful!
Focus.
Ugh. Okay, so we did the Skeksis Emperor, who is so not the voice of the actual Oz himself. I mean, maybe one of the heads.
I am Oz, the great and powerful!
That'd be awesome. But now it's Pee-wee on a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
No! You're all wrong! Said the little man meekly. I've been making believe! Making believe! Cried Dorothy! Are you not a great wizard?
Oh, God.
Hush, my dear! He said! Don't speak so loud! Or you will be overheard! And I should be ruined! I'm supposed to be a great wizard! Ah!
I'm not peeing my pants, but I know he blew out all of your headphones.
I'm sorry.
That was not. It was worth so much more than $2.
It was worth it.
No.
And that was just so. That was the perfect reading right there. Don't speak so loud. I hurt now.
You should. Oh, next voice.
I love you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I do not feel the love.
Oh, you will later.
Anthony, no!
What?
I need a minute. Ah.
Who is it?
Oh. Oh.
Who's
Oh. Dog it. Oh, why?
What was this sponsored for?
Anthony, Trump, dude.
No, sorry. Is this worth $2 or what is it?
Oh, how much was it? $2, yes. Charging us an extra fee for these voices.
And aren't you? She asked.
God.
I am Dorothy.
Oh, no.
I'm just a little girl from Kansas.
And there it is, P.
No, no, no.
Not a bit of it, my dear. I'm just a common man. That's why I'm speaking for all of you.
And there she goes. Yes! I have forced her to retreat. Okay, so I must try to remember this for my repertoire. What is one of the funniest things that I could ever do?
I can do Donald Trump making believe that he's actually Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home.
Oh, and she's back. That was a quick trip to the restroom.
I hurried.
Because you had no choice. Out it came! I love you. And now that you're back, I can proceed with what I was going to do.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
No!
Way up high.
Why would you do that?
Because it's hilarious, that's why.
must build a wall and the Munchkins will pay for it. Dylan, you're fired. Fired. Banned.
We are going to make Oz great again.
God. I hate you so much. That's it. Celibacy.
Worth it.
Really? Really? Fix it. Captain Jack,
That is exactly what I was going to do, my love.
take a drink of water because you've laughed yourself into your whole voice is off. I hate you all. All of you make any suggestions. You're on my list. It's not my Christmas list.
You're more than that, said the Scarecrow in a grieved tone. You're a humbug. Exactly so, declared the little man, rubbing his hands together, as if it pleased him. I am a humbug. But is it terrible? But this is terrible, said the Tin Woodman. How shall I ever get my heart? Or I my courage, asked the Lion. Or I my brains, wailed the Scarecrow, wiping the tears from his eyes with his coat sleeve. My dear friends, said Oz, I pray you not to speak of these little things. Think of me and the terrible trouble I'm in for being found out. Was that better?
It's better.
I love you.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoarse and I'm not even doing the readings. Okay, that's enough. Alright.
You love it.
Are you ready for the next voice?
Yes.
This one's not horrible, just kind of smarmy. Austin Powers.
This wasn't horrible last time we did it?
It's not one of the ones, my ears don't bleed.
Fair enough.
It's kind of, but it's not, you know, it's...
Yes, I suppose there's a difference between and isn't there?
Doesn't anyone else know you're a humbug? Asked Dorothy. No one knows it but you four, baby, and myself, replied Oz. I have fooled everyone so long that I thought I should never be found out. It was a great mistake my ever letting you into the throne room.
She's in the throne room? Ew.
Usually I will not see even my subjects, and so they believe I am something terrible. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Next.
That's interesting. Okay, we have a couple of sponsored from Tom. Maria, after reading a mean text. So just channel your inner, you've got rat hair text, and then read that.
Yes, I'm ugly and my hair looks like rat hair.
Yes. So mean.
But I don't understand, said Dorothy in bewilderment. How is it that you appeared to me as a great head? That was one of my tricks, answered Oz. Step this way, please, and I will tell you all about it. Ha, go bully that.
Maria is from Cool Cat Saves the Kids and Cool Cat Superhero.
Yes.
Kids Superhero. To
Yes.
answer someone's question there.
Who may or may not be Cool Cat's love interest.
Ew!
Is it any weirder than Daddy Derek and Mama Cat?
Hush up. You fine-looking kitty cat, you.
Oh my god.
Next.
I'm about to send a Skype message. Don't answer it. Don't look at it right now.
Okay.
Later. Boom ding. I don't lose it.
That's fine.
I can't talk. The other part of the the sponsored text is the Horned King.
Ah, nice.
I didn't know who that is.
He's the villain from the Black Cauldron. And what a jump from poor Winnie Maria to the Horned King. Let's see.
He led the way to a small chamber in the rear of the throne room, and they all followed him. He pointed to one corner, in which lay the great head, made out of many thicknesses of paper, and with a carefully painted face. "This I hung from the ceiling by a wire," said Oz. "I stood behind the screen and pulled a thread to make the eyes move and the mouth open." "But how about the voice?" she inquired.
Yeah, really, people doing multiple voices for one single person? That's just weird.
That's not a bad one. I like that one. That's not a bad voice. Okay, Grace has sponsored a post as retribution for me.
Is retribution? Okay.
Retribution. This is retribution.
Yes, retribution away. And what is it?
I am so gonna make you pay.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
Not in a fun way.
Depends who you're talking to.
Dude from the Descendants movies.
Yep, that's making me suffer right there.
Yep.
"Oh, I'm a ventriloquist," said the little man, "and I can throw the sound of my voice wherever I wish so that you thought it was coming out of the head."
Perfect.
The dog is a ventriloquist. Yes, of course he is.
"And I also give great cuddles too, because that's relevant to what we're talking about." "There are other things I used to deceive you. You showed the Scarecrow the dress and the mask that he had worn when he seemed to be the lovely lady."
Now, I'm sorry. I need to pause here in the book and backtrack a bit. I forget if there were illustrations for each of the individual forms of Oz. Let me see what we got here. The rescue of the Tin Woodman. They're meeting the Cowardly Lion. The Deadly Poppy Field. Guardian at the Gates. We are getting closer and closer to meeting Oz the Great and Powerful. And we're already at the point where they're searching for the Wicked Witch, and there are no illustrations of Oz himself. The imagery is all left to our imagination. Okay, fine, fair enough. But I need to point this out to all of you, and maybe you'll see it when the lag catches up to you. This is how the original illustrator decided to make Oz look. Just this little old Elmer Fudd-looking dude, right? Where is it? Oops, it's over here. Be very, very quiet. I'm playing the wizard. Now think about that. In one of the many forms that he took as Oz the Great and Powerful is a lovely woman. And he wore a mask and a dress for that. That's not going to look a little strange to anybody.
Alrighty then.
But then I guess it made sense to appear to the Scarecrow like that, what with his lack of brains and all, so of course he would just believe it. I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. Who's next?
Have you finished with Dude?
Yes, I have.
Alright, the next is King Stefan.
King Stefan.
And then we have another sponsored post from Anthony. This time, on you.
Oh, really?
And the Tin Woodman saw that this terrible beast was nothing but a lot of skins sewn together, with slats to keep their sides shut. As for the ball of fire, the false wizard had hung that also from the ceiling. It was really a ball of cotton, but when oil was poured onto the ball, poured upon it, the ball burned fiercely. "Really," said the Scarecrow,
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for being such a humbug. Next.
Brent.
Hey, that's fine. I made you pee. I'm good. There was a little stream that flowed into the river.
Yeah.
I certainly am, answered the little man sorrowfully. But it was the only thing I could do. Sit down, please. There are plenty of chairs, and I will tell you my story. So they sat down and listened while he told the following tale. I was born in Omaha. Why, that isn't very far from Kansas, cried Dorothy. Yes, he was born in Omaha and somehow wound up in Jasper. Of course.
Good night, Pretzel.
Bye, Pretzel. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us. And Night Planet too. Thank you for joining us all on the stream. That was wonderful. And
check out the video on demand to see what you missed.
Yes.
On Saturday.
And after Brent, who is from Omaha. No, but it is farther from here, he said, shaking his head at her sadly. When I grew up, I became a ventriloquist, and at that, I was very well trained by a great master. I can imitate any kind of bird or beast. Here he mewed like a kitten that Toto pricked up his ears and looked everywhere to see where she was. After a time, continued Oz, I tired of that and became a balloonist. Yes, he is.
Sorry.
Oh, don't apologize. That's so fun.
Shut up.
You could have muted.
I didn't. I couldn't.
It's a perfectly normal sneeze.
It is a perfectly normal sneeze. Shut up.
It just happened to perk up when we're talking about the wizard mewing like a kitten is all. And she just gave me the bird. Birds! Oh no! Ah!
God, you're the worst.
And you love me.
Maybe.
Maybe. But baby, shoulders.
Hmm?
But the shoulders. Don't you love them?
Well, yes. Anyway.
Next.
Optimus Primal.
What is that? Asked Dorothy. A man who goes up in a balloon on circus day, so as to draw a crowd of people together and get them to pay to see the circus, he explained. Oh, she said, I know. Well, then why'd you ask? Well, one day when I went up in a balloon and the ropes got twisted so that I couldn't come down again. It went away up above the clouds so far that a current of air struck it and carried it away many miles away. For a day and a night I traveled through the air, and on the morning of the second day I awoke and found the balloon floating over a strange and beautiful country. Maximize. Next.
Next is... I keep losing track. My handwriting is terrible. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Beavis and Butthead. Bleh.
It came down, like, gradually and stuff, and, I was not hurt a bit, because I'm cool.
Oh my god.
But I found myself in the midst of a strange people who, seeing me come from the clouds, thought I was a great wizard. What a bunch of dumbasses. and I was like, worship me, for I am the great Cornholio! I need to be for my buggle!
That's the one I hate the most.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know which is which.
It's Beavis you hate the most. I am Oz, the great and powerful! and I come before you with the ball of fire! Fire!
Are you ready for the next voice? Time?
Yes, it's
Please?
time.
Jafar from the original.
Baby. Oh, you mean the only? We are not
Don't be a
acknowledging.
purist.
We are not acknowledging that other movie.
Yes, we are.
It didn't happen.
Yes, it did. Oh my God! No, Gabe, why?
What?
Oh my God!
What is he doing? What's he suggesting?
Sponsored a post.
What sponsored post?
Just finish Jafar. Do Jafar.
Let's see.
Oh my God!
Of course, I let them think so, because they were afraid of me and promised to do anything I wished to them.
Okay.
Just to amuse myself, I kept the good people busy. I ordered them to build this city and my palace, and they did it all willingly and well. Then I thought, as the country was so green and beautiful, I would call it the Emerald City, and to make the name fit better, I put green spectacles on all the people so that everything they saw was green. But isn't everything here green? Asked Dorothy.
And what sponsored post did Gabe give us?
Who is good?
Derek Savage being romantic with his gun and Mama Cat.
Being romantic with his gun and Mama Cat.
No more than in any other city, replied Oz, but when you wear green spectacles, why, of course, everything you see looks green to you. The Emerald City was built a great many years ago, where I was a young man when the balloon brought me here.
Angie had to get up and walk away.
Which doesn't make any sense because I'm wearing headphones. I've got the heebie-jeebies.
Yes! We give her the Ghiblis.
I love you.
Just finish it. Make it terrorist. Oh.
For I was a young man when the balloon brought me here, and I am a very old man now. But my people have worn green glasses on their eyes so long that most of them think it really is an Emerald City. And it certainly is a beautiful place, abounding in jewels and precious metals, and every good thing that is needed to make one happy. I have been
Finished.
I'm getting finished. I'm almost there. Almost.
Faster.
and I've been good to the people, and they like me, so I kind of know what I'm talking about here. Well, ever since this palace was built, I have shut myself up, and I would not see any of them. You fine-looking kitty cat, you.
Oh.
I had to point something out here, sweetheart. This interaction between you and me, reading to the audience, and you taking suggestions and talking with me all the while. Do you know what this is?
What?
That's teamwork right there. And you knew I was going there, didn't you?
No, I thought you were about to make me respond with, "Oh, push it."
Well, you can do that too.
You fine-looking raven, you.
Oh, shut up. Get hush. Shut up. No. The other part part of the sponsored post.
Yes.
Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog.
Of which you are a fan.
I am. But then he ends it with, no! Oh, man.
I'm not going to ask. We will cross that bridge when we get to it. One of my greatest fears was the witches, for while I had no magical powers at all, I soon found out that the witches were really able to do wonderful things. There were 4 of them in this country, and they ruled the people who lived in the north and the south, the east and the west. Unfortunately, the witches of the north and south were good, and I knew that they would do me no harm. But the witches in the east and the west were terribly wicked, and they had not thought I was more had they not thought I was more powerful than they themselves, they would surely have destroyed me. But I've got friends on the other side. And what is this post ending on? Who is it?
Oh, we've done Daddy Derek and Mama Cat. It's only right, only fitting that we end with their abomination.
Which one?
Cool Cat.
No, sorry. Which actor?
Original, I would imagine.
Jason Johnson's Cool Cats.
As it was, I lived in deadly fear of them for many years. This is what deadly fear sounds like. Yay! So you can imagine how pleased I was when I heard your house had fallen on the Wicked Witch of the East. When you came to me, I was willing to promise anything if you would only do away with the other witch.
I'm willing to promise anything if you'll go away.
We're almost done, baby.
But now that you have melted her, I'm ashamed to say that I cannot keep my promises. Exquisite!
No, it's not.
Oh,
I'm sponsoring this next post.
I'm sorry. Next stream, we need a bit more time to prepare, just so we can make sure that we get your Skype window on video too, because your reactions are too priceless. Love you.
I'm sponsoring the next post.
Yes, you are sponsoring the next post, which is about who?
Jareth.
Jeff.
And make it good.
Oh, I'll make it good for you, my dear. Let me just stick that down there, and there we go.
Tom, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to pick a different name, different one. I don't think he knows any of the Watership Down characters.
I do not. Sorry about that.
Okay. But I'm watching for your next suggestion.
Yes. Jareth. I think you're a very bad man, said Dorothy. Oh no, my dear.
He's a bad man.
He is a bad man. Oh no!
Sorry.
Oh no, my dear. I'm really a very good man. I'm just a very bad wizard, I must admit. Can you give me some brains? Asked the Scarecrow. You don't need them. You're learning something every day. A baby has brains, but it doesn't know much. Experience is the only thing that brings knowledge. And the longer you are here on Earth, the more experience you're sure to get. But there's one thing that you haven't got. A diploma. Next.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Swoon.
The
Give you a
sponsored
smoke?
post has been changed to Waluigi.
Yes, and equally sexy.
No.
All that may be true, said the Scarecrow, but I shall be very unhappy unless you give me brains. The false wizard looked at him carefully. Well, he said with a sigh, I'm not much of a magician, as I said, but if you will come to me tomorrow morning, I will stuff your head with brains. I cannot tell you how to use them, however, you must find that out for yourself. Wah, wah, wah.
Next.
Next is Jim Carrey.
Oh, thank you, cried the Scarecrow, and I'll find a way to use them, never fear.
I like Jim Carrey.
But how about my courage? Asked the Lion anxiously. You have plenty of courage, I'm sure, answered Oz. All you need is confidence in yourself. There is no living thing that is not afraid when it faces danger. True courage is in facing danger when you're afraid, and the kind of courage you have in plenty. Alrighty then.
Thank you, Grace.
What did Grace suggest?
A sponsored post that's not going to make me barf. How's your Michigan J Frog? I can't remember if you do that one or not.
I could do him well when I'm just doing his bit. Don't think I've read with him before, but let's give it a try here.
Well, then do his bit first. Dance, monkey. It's a sponsored post.
Sorry, if I'm going to dance like Michigan J Frog, I gotta do it properly.
When the lag catches up, I'll get to see it. Got the hat.
Yeah, only when nobody's looking can I dance. That's how that works.
Except everybody's looking.
Exactly. So there you go.
Okay, if you can't read as him, then the other suggestion is Pepe Le Pew.
I will try to read as Michigan J Frog.
And then Pepe Le Pew.
Yes. Perhaps I have, but I'm scared just the same, said the Lion. I shall be really unhappy, unless you give me the sort of courage that makes me forget he is afraid. Very well, but I'll give you that sort of courage tomorrow, replied Oz. How about my heart as the Tin Woodman?
Yay!
Da-da-da-da-da-da! And now on to Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew.
Let's see. Why, as for that, answered Oz, I think you are wrong to want a heart. It makes most people unhappy. For if only you knew it, you are in luck to not have to not have a heart. That must be a matter of opinion, said the Tin Woodman. For my part, I will bear all the unhappiness without a murmur if you will give me the heart. Very well, answered Oz meekly. Come to me tomorrow, and I shall give you a heart. I have played wizard for so many years that I may as well continue the part a little longer.
Excellent.
And there are 2 voices left in this chapter, and I think that we'll call it a day for the Wizard of Oz before moving on to fairy tales.
That sounds good. Let's have some Matthew Lillard Shaggy. Because there are only 2 Shaggies.
Yes, there are.
Casey Kasem and Matthew Lillard.
Oh, don't be a purist. Oh, she's giving me such a stink eye right now. But she's smiling, so it's okay.
And now, said Dorothy, how am I supposed to get back to Kansas? We shall have to think about that, replied the little man. Give me 2 or 3 days to consider the matter, and I'll try to find a way to carry you over the desert. In the meantime, you shall be treated as my guests, and while you live in the palace, my people will wait upon you and obey your slightest wish. There's only one thing I ask in return for my help, such as it is. You must keep my secret and tell no one that I'm a humbug!
Was that more Casey Kasem or Matthew Lillard?
This is just me doing Shaggy, man. That's all I can do.
I'm gonna have to go back and compare their voices. I really don't know which one that's more like now. It's been too long. What does Shaggy and Scooby-Doo get a clue?
Don't know.
Okay, we don't know that, Sparkpad.
I
There's
was
no
never.
Scott Minville playing Shaggy. There are no other Shaggys. After Matthew Lillard, Shaggy died.
There aren't very many people who would say that Matthew Lillard is my man. He is the only one who could do this role.
Matthew Lillard is my man, and he's the only one that can do this role.
I love you.
I like him on Good Girls, too.
Don't know that show, but okay.
He is an excellent role player.
Final voice for this final chapter?
Final voice for the final chapter of The Wizard of Oz is the Ringmaster from the 1941 Dumbo.
They agreed to say nothing of what they had learned, and went back to their rooms at high spirits. Even Dorothy had hoped that the great and terrible humbug, as she called him, would find a way to send her back to Kansas, and if he did that, she was willing to forgive him everything. Thank you!
Yay!
And now to mark my place here, where we will continue in the next stream with The Magic Art of the Great Humbug, Chapter 16.
Excellent.
Where we see him holding the severed head of the Scarecrow. That's not morbid. And shall we delve again into Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales?
Yes.
And let's see.
Is the fan cooling you off sufficiently?
It is.
It looks just as purple as your shirt.
Yes, again,
Your chair is also purple.
That camera's weird.
And your skin's kind of yellow. You got a whole Easter egg vibe going on.
But the important thing is that it is still reading my screen here as green, so it can be keyed out properly.
Perfect.
That's all that matters.
Like I said, I like that color on you.
Thank you. Shall we do The Frog King?
Yes.
Starring Prince Croakington III, or whatever his name is.
I can only speak eloquently when I'm in my frog form, but when I turn back into a prince,
I turn into Jerry Lewis. Oh, pretty lady mans.
Alright. The first is a dual suggestion.
Oh dear.
Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World.
The Frog King.
in old times when wishing still helped one,
Right, party on.
there lived a king whose daughters were all beautiful, but the youngest was so beautiful that the sun itself, which has seen so much, was astonished whenever it shone her in the face.
Close by the king's castle lay a great dark forest, and under an old lime tree in the forest was a well. And when the day was very warm, the king's child went out into the forest and sat down by the side of the cool fountain. And when she was dull, she took a golden ball and threw it up high and caught it. And this ball was her favorite plaything. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Gar.
Good, I guess. After this, there has been a couple of suggestions that you read The Goose Girl.
Very well. The Goose Girl it shall be.
I think you're gonna have to come up with Tom. I think you're gonna have to come up with the second alternative because I don't think he does. Do you know Shan Yu from Mulan?
I do not know Shan Yu from Mulan, I'm afraid. Sorry.
I like Shan Yu, but I don't think he does that voice. So we shall wait for the second suggestion. Do the Frog Prince from We Sing Train.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Now, it so happened that on one occasion, the princess's golden ball did not fall into the little hand which she was holding up for it, but onto the ground beyond, and rolled straight into the water. The king's daughter followed it with her eyes, but it vanished, and the well was deep, so deep at the bottom could not be seen. On this she began to cry, and cried louder and louder, and could not be comforted.
A little Bobcat gulp waiting. Come on, bring it back. Reel it in, baby.
I'm just doing the frog prince. This is what it sounds like. Watch that movie again. That's him. On the one hand, he's very eloquent and very regal, because he is the Frog Prince. But then for some reason he does this, he sounds like he's Java from the Fun Day Puppet Show, yay! I'm into that!
Oh my god. Okay, so the alternative to Shan Yu is Alice from the 1951 Alice in Wonderland.
That's quickly becoming a favorite, too. Let's see, there it is.
And as she thus lamented, someone said to her, "What ails thee, king's daughter? Thou weepest so that even a stone would show pity." She looked round to the side from whence the voice came, and saw a frog stretching forth its thick, ugly head from the water. "Ah, old water splasher, is it thou?" said she. "I am weeping for my golden ball, which has fallen into the well."
Next.
Next is wrong page. Ooh,
Ooh, she says.
Joker, Mark Hamill. One of my favorites.
Be quiet, and do not weep, answered the frog. I can help thee, but what wilt thou give me if I bring thy plaything up again? Whatever thou wilt have, dear frog, said she. My clothes, my pearls, my jewels, and even the golden crown which I am wearing.
Well, this got a lot creepier, didn't it? Next.
Charlie McCarthy?
Pass.
I don't know who that is. Stop! I don't want to watch your premiere, Sam B. Not right now. I'm busy. Patty the Pelican?
Pass.
Waspinator.
Froggybot answered, Frog, do not care for thy clothes, thy pearls, thy jewels, or thy golden crowns. But if Fleshybot will love me, and let me be thy companion and playfellow, and sit by thee at thy little table, and eat off thy little golden plate, and drink out of thy little cup, and sleep in thy little bed, if thou wilt promise me this,
wrong suffix here.
If thou wilt promise Waspinator this, Waspinator will go down below and bring thee thy golden ball up again.
Say goodnight to Gabe. He's got an early shift in the morning.
Oh, sorry, Gabe. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Thank you so much for joining
Have
us.
a good day at work tomorrow.
And thank you for all the awful, awful voices.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
See you later, man.
Alright, ready for the next voice?
Yes.
Dr. Loomis?
Pass.
Bartok.
Pass.
The Penguin, Danny DeVito.
Oh yes, said she. I promise thee all thou wishes, if thou wilt but bring me my ball back again. She, however, thought, how the silly frog does talk. He lives in the water with the other frogs and croaks, and can be no companion to any human being. I'm an adorable little princess.
So dainty.
I'm so dainty.
Speaking of adorable little princesses, the next suggestion is Ariel from Little Mermaid 2.
Pass.
I thought so.
I cannot be
Steve
Jodie
Buscemi.
Benson.
But the frog, when he had received this promise, put his head into the water and sank down, and in a short while came swimming up again with the ball in his mouth, and threw it on the grass. The king's daughter was delighted to see her pretty plaything once more, and picked it up and ran away with it. Wait, said the frog. Take me with thee. I can't run as fast as thou canst. But what did it avail him to scream his croak after her as loudly as he could? She did not listen to it, but ran home and soon forgot the poor frog, and was soon forced to go back into his well again. Next. Oh, you're typing. What's up?
Sorry. No channel awesome stuff.
Sorry.
Get that one already. Morgan Freeman.
Because if there was ever a voice that was destined to narrate, it was this.
That's true. He is God after all.
The next day, when she had seated herself at the table with the king and all the courtiers, and was eating upon her little golden plate, something came creeping, splishy splashy, splishy splashy, upon the marble suitcase. I hate showing you guys things on the camera here because of the lag, but really, look, it's the perfect voice for Morgan Freeman because it says splish splash, which you can't see very well, but trust me,
Well,
it's
it's
there.
not lagging for them, it's only lagging for me.
Well, yeah, there you go. So, of course, I gotta bleed over into Z Frank 1 there for a moment. And babies in gear. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. Up the marble staircase that went splish splash, and when it had got to the top, it knocked on the door and cried, "Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me." When a talking frog comes to you with the voice of Morgan Freeman, you had damn well better listen. Now I'm bluish green.
Yeah, you changed colors. What happened?
Again, weird camera. Oh, and now I'm turning purple again.
I'm waiting for it to happen. There you are! Purple!
I'm purple and
Okay.
orange.
The next voice is...
Hey,
And apparently you're drinking grape soda.
I'm words that cannot touch, like purple and orange.
I've been wandering in circles.
What's that from?
It's from California Lady, Truck of the Moon Beast, MS-T3K.
Okay.
I played you the song once before, like recently, but whatever.
California lady,
Mara Cruz says these are the
won't
colors
you
of your
show
moons.
your dress for me?
Yes, this... it's a mood camera. That'd be brilliant.
Wouldn't it though?
Next. After
Next
Morgan Freeman.
is Dr. Claw.
She ran to see who was outside, but when she opened the door, there sat the frog in front of it. Then she slammed the door in great haste, sat down to dinner again, and was quite frightened. The king saw plainly that her heart was beating violently, and said, "My child, what art thou so afraid of? Is there perchance a giant outside who wants to carry you away?" "Ah, no," she replied. "It is no giant, but a disgusting frog. I'll get you next time, Froggy."
Bobsheaux is the horse of a different color. That's good, Kristen.
I too am a pretty little princess.
Alright, you ready for the next one?
Yes, what is it?
Elsa.
Ugh.
You can do your Elsa impression. You don't have to actually read as Elsa.
Oh, look at me, I'm so alone. Oh no, I'm freezing people. Oh no, I'm hurting my sister. I'll get better by not practicing my powers somehow.
Oh, you didn't do it.
Sorry, I guess I don't know what my Elsa impression is. Remind me again what it is.
The song?
Let it go.
I was having a super bad day. And Bobsheaux put on Let It Go. And
I am I am sorry. I am sorry. Your boyfriend loves you so much. But sometimes your boyfriend is very, very clueless.
That's okay.
I must place the marker within my book so I can put it down.
Yay!
I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let it go.
And I'm pulling out shit all over the place.
Oh no! The lag, I couldn't see it.
I almost took the headphone cord out of the jack.
Oh no!
But now, look at my gorgeous Fabio hair.
Your hair blowing in the breeze. Your green and purple hair.
As I pull out a fistful of hair for that bit. You're welcome.
I'm sorry.
That was good for my Sorcerer's Apprentice review, though, wasn't it?
It was so good. And I laughed my ass off when he did that the first time, which was his goal. So it was.
Yes, there are many downsides to long-distance relationships. One of the biggest one being that when your significant other is having a bad day, and there is nothing that you can do to either fix what's bothering them, or you can't even, just put your arms around them and tell them it's going to be okay. Because that's a big thing, but you can't do that when you're in a long-distance relationship. So when that fails, make them laugh, make them laugh, make them laugh! And that certainly did the trick.
It did.
I'm singing a little karaoke of Let It Go, and yeah, she's enjoying it for what it is, I guess. But then all of a sudden that comes out, Let It Go!
Poof! No more ponytail! I am a beautiful princess. Worship me.
Okay, let's get back to the stories.
Yes, with what voice after Elsa?
Lego Robin.
Never did him before, give him a whirl.
Oh, you haven't?
No. Let's see. And what does the frog want with thee? Ah, dear father, yesterday I was in the forest sitting by the well playing. My golden ball fell into the water, and because I cried so, the frog brought it out again for me. And because he insisted so on it, I promised him that he should be my companion, and I never thought that he would be able to come out of his water. And now he is outside, and he wants to come and join me.
Wow.
I don't like Michael Cera at all, but that was brilliant casting.
What else has he been in? I don't know. I don't recognize the name. The name sounds familiar, but I.
Superbad. No, not Superbad. Scott Pilgrim. Have you seen that?
No, okay. Is he like Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, no, I don't like him. I know him.
Yes. When it was first announced that Jesse Eisenberg was going to be Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman, a very common joke running around the internet was that Michael Cera was going to be Joker.
Oh, good grief.
Why don't we put a smile on that face?
Ugh.
Next.
Right, next voice. Angus McBadger from Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
They love hearing me do Scots.
I do too. That's what that is. Thank you, Super Disney fan.
In the meantime, it knocked a second time and cried, Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me. Dost thou not know what thou saidst to me yesterday by the cool waters of the fountain? Princess, youngest princess, open the door for me. Then the king said, That which thou hast promised must thou perform. Go and let him in. Next.
Did I say "oh good grief" or something?
I don't think so. Why?
Because someone just called me Lucy Van Pelt.
Okay.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I do not.
Charlie Brown.
Oh, no. I know who Lucy Van Pelt is, but I don't know where that would have come from, unless you did say good grief at some point.
I do tend to say that every once in a while. But anyway. Next voice is Beast Wars Megatron.
Or maybe at some point you called me your sweet baboo. I don't know.
I don't think I called you. That wouldn't be Lucy. That would be
No, that'd be Sally.
Isn't he the cutest thing?
My sweet baboo.
I am not your sweet baboo!
Aww.
Anyway. She went and opened the door, and the frog hopped in and followed her, step by step to a chair. Then he sat and cried, "Lift me up beside thee!" She delayed, until at last the king commanded her to do it. When the frog was once in the chair, he wanted to be on the table, and when he was on the table, he said, "Now, push thy little golden plate nearer to me, that we may eat together." Yes. So,
Oh boy.
Now, I totally understand that the king wants to instill upon his daughter the idea that if you make a promise, you have to keep it. You, princess, who are destined to take over the kingdom for me one day, you need to be a lady of your word. But he doesn't have any questions about a frog knocking on the door. You promised a frog that he would eat with us.
I didn't know he was gonna actually do it, Daddy!
Next.
Hang on. More pop-up notifications to clear out. This is one of your favorites. One of your new favorites.
Uh-oh.
Arthur Fleck.
And do please keep me posted about the reactions coming from the chat while I'm doing this one. Let's see. Where was I? Yes, there it is. She did this, but it was easy to see that he did not do it willingly. Or that she did not do it willingly. The frog enjoyed what he ate, but almost every mouthful she took choked her. At length, he said, "I have eaten and am satisfied, and I am tired. Carry me into thy little room and make thy little silken bed ready. And we will both lie down and go to sleep." The king's daughter began to cry, for she was afraid of the cold frog, which she did not like to touch, but which was now to sleep in her pretty, clean little bed. But when the king grew angry and said,
He who helped thee when thou wert in trouble ought not afterwards to be despised by thee.
Are you done?
Next.
Very good. The reactions in chat, Tom said, "How about a joke, Murray?"
How about another joke, Murray? When I got dressed up in my Wonka suit, actually, here, it was a toss-up between that or do I want to do Fleck for this one? I don't know.
Very good. I don't think you got anybody that time. They're finally getting used to it.
Gotta spit it out.
Yeah.
But whatever, I still love it, and it's still awesome.
It is. For those of you that didn't hear the story before, the first time that he did the voice of Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, I was reading off, you guys were throwing me voice suggestions, and I was writing them down really fast, so I wasn't paying as close attention.
She's too busy playing mod.
Right. So I threw the voice suggestion at him, and then I'm just writing voices. And I forgot which one he was doing.
And I began to read.
And I noticed what is he? Okay, I wasn't really paying that close attention to what he's reading, but why does he think it's so funny? What is wrong with him? It's not that funny. Why is he laughing like that? chat didn't know what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
So it's not just me. So, ha. But anyway, that was good.
Is it just
Okay.
me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
That's just you. The next one is Donkey.
You keep on giving the same suggestions over and over. Can you do any silly voices? All I have are silly voices. But you don't listen. Donkey. Oh dear.
Oh yes.
Let's see. There we are. So she took hold of the frog with 2 fingers, carried him upstairs, and put him in a corner. But when she was in her bed, he crept over to her and said, "Hey, I'm tired. I don't want to sleep as well as thou. Lift me up or I will tell thy father." Then she was terribly angry and took him up and threw him out with all her might against the wall. "Now that will be quiet, odious frog," said she. Wow, okay. So, I've had enough of your crap. Splat.
Next is Nathan Lane.
But when he fell down, he was no frog, but a king's son with beautiful, kind eyes. He, by her father's will, was now her dear companion and husband. Now he told her how he had been bewitched by a wicked witch, and how no one could have delivered him from the well but herself, and that tomorrow they would go together into his kingdom. Then when they went to sleep, and the next morning when the sun awoke them, a carriage came driving up with 8 white horses, which had white ostrich feathers on their heads, and were harnessed with golden chains, and behind stood the young king's servant, faithful Henry. Okay, just to recap here. She meets an enchanted frog in the forest, invites him to dinner, she gets pissy at him, throws him against the wall, and that turns him back into a prince. How romantic? So there's your answer, ladies. If you want to become a princess, and you find that kissing a talking frog doesn't work, just try throwing it against something. I'm sure that'll work. And 2 last voices for the story.
Okay. We ended up doing this one already. So I guess it's only fair to do another one from the list.
Oh.
I think the only one that you haven't done from the list is Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh no!
It was supposed to be Daddy Derek, but you had a sponsored post for that, so it got moved up, and which made it a little confusing. But go ahead and mutilate my eardrums with some Bobcat Goldthwait.
I love you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Faithful Henry had been so unhappy when his master was changed to a frog. He had caused 3 iron bands to be laid around his heart, lest it should burst with grief and sadness.
I quit!
The carriage was to conduct the young king into his kingdom. Faithful Henry helped them both in and placed himself behind again, and was full of joy because of this deliverance. And when they had driven that part of the way, the king's son heard a cracking behind him as if something had broken. So she turned around. So I turned around and cried, "Henry, the carriage is breaking!"
And we're done.
Thank you!
You're welcome!
Captain Barbosa! Make it count! Your evening depends on it! Quit laughing!
I love you.
No, you don't!
Yes, I do.
I ain't feeling alone.
I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that it doesn't sound like I'm sorry.
You don't sound at all sorry, not even a little. There's no remorse in your laughing and giggling self over there.
I'm sorry.
No, Johnny, I cannot feel the love tonight. Neither will he if he messes up this Barbossa.
Maybe later.
Unless you mess up Barbossa.
I mess up Barbossa?
Well, unless you don't give me a good one.
Oh, ye of little faith. No, Fan, we're not blowing past this last bit of the story.
No, master. It is not the carriage. It is a band from my heart, which was put there in my great pain when you were a frog and imprisoned in the well. Again and once again, while they were on their way, something cracked, and each time the king's son thought the carriage was breaking. But it was only the bands which were springing from the heart of faithful Henry, because his master was set free and was happy.
That was good.
It was.
Okay.
You sound like you're feeling better.
Yes, my ears stopped bleeding and the nausea went away, so...
And any other parts of you, what are they saying?
Next voice is... You are so inappropriate.
You love it.
No. Bing
first-
Crosby?
Okay, first we gotta decide on the story, since the Frog King is finished with. Because...
The girl Goose, the Goose Girl, was requested.
Goose Girl, that's right. That's right. Goose Girl.
And unless it's really short, that would be the last one of the evening.
And where is Goose Girl? I wish there was some order to these stories. It starts with the Frog King, the giant... Huh? What?
The adorable nurse. Ew! That's gross!
The adorable nurse? What? What? What's...
When you asked about the rest of me, adorable nurse popped out with moisture than an oyster.
And we have it here recorded for posterity. Thank you. Thank you, adorable nurse.
Banned.
Moister than an oyster. I gotta remember that one.
Remember that one. Forget it. Wipe it from your memory.
Okay.
It's terrible.
It's gone.
Oh, no.
My fans are the best.
Ew. Oh.
The bathroom's over there, sweetheart.
Leave me alone.
Anyway, Goose Girl, where is the Goose Girl? Sorry, what?
Goose. You're trying to find the Goose Girl.
Yeah, the Goose Girl at the well. What is this? Page 287. Whoa. I opened up to page 282, almost there, and what's on this page?
Oh my god, scary kitty! It's looking into my soul! Ah!
The Goose Girl at the well, starting with what voice?
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, that's right. There was once upon a time a very old woman who lived with a flock of geese in a waste space among the mountains, and they had a little house. The waste was surrounded by a large forest, and every morning the old woman took a crutch and hobbled to it. There, however, the dame was quite active, more so than anyone would have thought, considering her age, and collected grass for her geese, picked all the wild fruit she could reach, and carried everything home on her back. Anyone would have thought that the heavy load would have...
Sorry.
Whoa, what was that? She's squeaking.
Nurse, you're banned. I'm telling you, you can't go back.
What did the nurse say that makes the raven squeak? What?
Showed the picture of the cat. She said spooky pussy.
Okay, that's it. Nurse, you win the internet. You win. And... Oh, we got snorting! You got a squeaking and a snorting.
Read.
How am I supposed to read with that? Oh, she muted herself. And again, we really need to work out how we can get her Skype screen on camera here with us. It can't be done. I've seen it, but I need to put a little bit more time into making it happen, because you gotta see her doubling over right now. She's just... She's clutching her chest and her throat in pain. She's fanning herself with her hand because she's laughing that hard. And she's slapping me this way and that because... Stop it! And she's panting with a major blep. Shut up, she says while muted, but I can read her lips. And she gives me the bird again.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
I love you.
Okay, y'all are terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay. What are you doing? Where are we? Where are we at, dude?
I'm simply noticing that this story is 8 pages long. Is this a longer one, or do we want to pick something else?
Is this a longer one? I don't know. How long have the other ones been?
The Frog Prince, or the Frog King that we just finished was 3 pages long.
I don't know. You're the one doing the voice.
We're having so much fun. It's never just a straight read through here. We gotta pause so we can laugh and tell stories and this and that.
We'll see where we are at 8:30. We may have to pick up the rest of the Goose roll at the well in the next round.
Okay, fair enough. Calling it quits at 8:30. Sounds good.
8:30-ish. We'll see how close we are at 8:30.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Continuing on with, got some longer paragraphs here. We are done with Bing. Who's next?
Next is Marvin the Paranoid Android.
Let's see.
Anyone would have thought that the heavy load would have weighed her to the ground, but she always brought it safely home. If anyone met her, she greeted him quite courteously. "Good day, dear countryman. It is a fine day. Ah, you wonder that I should drag grass about, but everyone must take his burthen on his back. Nevertheless, people did not like to meet her if they could help it. I can relate. And it took preference by roundabout way, and when a father with his boys passed her, he whispered to them, 'Beware of the old woman. She has claws beneath her gloves. She is a witch.' Don't talk to me about witches."
Next.
That is Marvin from,
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
yes, Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. Johnny O'Malley asks, is that Marvin from the miniseries or Marvin from the 2000s movie?
It is Marvin from the radio and TV series.
Ah.
Marvin from the movie is played by Alan Rickman.
Oh, that's the one you were supposed to do. I didn't know there was a difference.
Oh, was that it?
Yes, so now do Alan Rickman's version.
One morning, a handsome young man was going through the forest. The sun shone bright, the birds sang, a cool breeze crept through the leaves, and he was full of joy and gladness.
So much joy,
I'm
so much gladness.
I'm full of joy and gladness. He has He had as yet met no one, and suddenly perceived the old witch kneeling on the ground, cutting grass with a sickle. She had already thrust a whole load into a cloth, and near it stood 2 baskets, which were filled with wild apples and pears. "But, good little mother," said he, "how canst thou carry all that away?" "I must carry it, dear sir," answered she. "Rich folks' children have no need to do such things, but with the pleasant folk the saying goes, 'Do not look behind you, you will only see how crooked your back is.'"
Yeah, that's very Marvin right there.
Very good. We have a
And me with
sponsored post.
And me with this terrible pain in all the diodes down my left side.
Sponsored post
Sponsored post.
from Grace
Thank you, Grace.
Velocibarney. I'm not sure what Velocibarney is.
I know what Velocibarney is, but her voice was very generic. She was just Kate. But I will try for Velocibarney.
Well, there's a second suggestion in that, so
And what is that?
minus the alien.
Minus. Wow, that takes me back. I will do minus for this. And I will try to not rip out my throat while I do it.
Will you help me? She said, and remained standing by her. You still have a straight back and young legs, and it would be a trifle to you. Besides, my throat still... and besides, my house is not so very far from here. It stands there on the heath behind the hill. How soon you would bound up thither? The young man took compassion on the old woman. My father is certainly not pleasant. No, certainly no peasant, replied he, but a rich count. Nevertheless, that you may see that it is not only peasants who can carry things, I will take your bundle. If you will try it, said she, I shall be very glad, and you will certainly have to walk for an hour, but that signify to you. Only you must carry the apples and pears as well.
Wow.
How do I do that voice while sounding like I got laryngitis? I don't know.
Okay. The next one is...
I suppose maybe if I...
Why am I losing
Oh.
my voice?
Oh yeah,
That's how much I've been laughing.
I must make a note for myself next time I want to do this voice. I must strangle myself as I do it because this is my
That's not good for you. Don't do that.
It's not good, but it is accurate.
The next one is Doug from Up.
It now seemed to the young man just a little serious when he heard of an hour's walk that the old woman would not let him off, packed the bundle on his back, and hung the 2 baskets on his arm. "See, it is quite light," said she. "No, it is not light," answered the count, and pulled a rueful face because he loved her. "Verily, the bundle weighs as heavily as if it were full of cobblestones, and the apples and pears as heavy as lead. I can scarcely breathe," said he. He had a mind to put everything down again, but the old woman would not allow it. "Just look," he said mockingly. "The young gentleman will not carry what I, an old woman, have so often dragged along. You are ready with fine words, but when it comes to be earnest, you want to take to your heels. Why are you standing loitering there?" she continued. "Step out. No one will take the bundle off again." "I was hiding under your porch because I love you."
You forgot squirrel.
I forgot what? Squirrel! My name is Doug, and I love you.
Okay.
I think that is a squirrel.
Next is Jack from The Shining. I knew he would like this one.
As long as he walked on level ground, it was still there. When they came to the hill and had to climb, and the stones rolled down under his feet as if they were alive, It was beyond his strength. The drops of his perspiration stood on his forehead and ran hot and cold down his back. "Dame," said he, "I can go no further. I want to rest a little." "Not here," answered the old woman. "When we have arrived at our journey's end, you can rest. But now you must go forward. Who knows what good it may do you?"
Very good.
Thank you.
Wabu from Dingo Pictures.
I need to watch Dingo Pictures. I don't know Wabu.
Okay. You have to watch it because you get that request every time.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Dingle Kringle from Elf Bowling.
Oh, God.
I don't remember his voice.
It's another Tom Kenny character. Why do I end up hating his work? He's a good voice actor. He's in so many things, but he just does the worst characters. Let's see,
Old woman, thou art becoming shameless, said the Count, and tried to throw off the bundle. Exactly! But he labored in vain. It stuck as fast to his back as if it grew there. He turned and twisted, but he could not get rid of it. The old woman laughed at this, and sprang about quite delighted on her crutch. Don't get angry, dear sir, said she. You are growing as red as the face of a turkey cock.
What?
You are growing as red in the face as a turkey cock.
Okay. Apparently they're quite red in the face.
You know, Grimm
Face
Brothers.
Of the turkey cock.
You are.
Isn't a turkey cock? Wait a minute. Isn't a turkey cock the thing in tennis?
That is a shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock. Okay, well
Yes.
I knew cock was involved. I don't know what a turkey cock is.
You make it a point to know such things.
Hey! Hey! You have 2 sponsored posts. Get done with turkey cock. What are you doing? I don't even remember.
Well, if they insist. Wow. No.
Robert!
Yes? I love you?
No. Stop it!
But back to what I was originally saying. Brothers Grimm, you are very imaginative fellows. You have dozens and dozens of stories to share with the world. I'm sure that there must have been something else red you could have compared his face to. Why did you have to go for turkey cock?
Well, because meant something. It means something. It doesn't mean what you think it means. It had to have been a different meaning.
Oh, language is fun.
Alright, our first sponsored post that just came up. First of 2, from Anthony.
Yes.
Phalus.
Always.
Apparently Phalus is the king of Dingo Pictures and Wabu.
Oh dear. I will review Dingo Pictures for you guys on one condition. Can we leave out Phalus comments, please? They're gonna be all over the place if he's the one who does them.
Have you seen his review?
I have not. Nor do
Well,
I.
then it's inevitable.
Nor do I intend to. At least until after my own. Because I cannot let other people's reviews influence mine.
Yeah.
And it is still so crazy how many of my jokes just happen to align with the Cinema Snobs' Snobs review of Oogie Loves. Anyway. I'm sorry, who was it? Phalus. Phalus is what I'm doing.
What could he do? He was obliged to submit to his fate and crawled along patiently behind the old woman. She seemed seemed to grow more and more nimble, and his burden still heavier. All at once she made a spring, jumped onto the bundle, and seated herself on the top of it. And however weathered she might be, she was still heavier than the stoutest country lass.
I don't know why your Phalus impression is so popular. It's good, I guess. I haven't really watched any of him, but...
I don't know.
Where did he land? How did he land on that voice for his persona?
I have not seen enough of his work to know.
Anyway, the next
Anywho.
sponsored post, Archer Slam Bam says,
Hello,
your
Archer.
choice of the Cheetah Men.
Oh dear. Who only had one televised appearance on 15 seconds of commercial, and that was it. And they just faded away into obscurity because, you know, that's what happens when you're destined to become the next Ninja Turtles. Where was I? I guess.
The youth's knees trembled, but when he did not go on, the old woman hit him about the legs with a switch and with stinging nettles.
Groaning continually, he climbed the mountain and at length reached the old woman's house, when he was just about to drop.
When the geese perceived the old woman, they flapped their wings, stretched their necks, and ran to meet her, cackling all the while.
Just do them all, why not? Yes, they're all... all three cheetah men are brothers, and one sounds English, the other one sounds like Stallone, and the third sounds like Cheech Marin, because why wouldn't they?
Of course. The next voice is a request because the voice actor recently passed away.
Oh?
Brainy Smurf.
I am sorry, I don't know the Smurfs.
Okay. Smurf you.
Smurf you!
Edna Mode.
And of course you had to say it like that, darling. Edna Mode.
Mode.
And guest.
Nuggets.
Nuggets! Let's see. There you go.
Behind the flock walked, stick in hand, an old wench, strong and big, but ugly as night. "A good mother," she said to the old woman, "has anything happened to you? You have stayed away so long, darling." "By no means, my dear daughter," answered she. "I have met with nothing bad. But on the contrary, with this kind gentleman who is carrying my burden for me, only think he even took me on his back when I was tired. The way, too, has not seemed wrong to us. We have been merry. We have been cracking jokes with each other all the time."
No jokes!
No jokes. Excellent. Next is...
Sorry, sidebar here. It's funny how I referenced the Baba Yaga in my review for Ever After High. And to do that, I reached into this little movie called Jack Frost, which was featured on MST3K. You remember the guy dressed up like a hobo?
Oh, hello.
No.
No? Well, she was in there.
Sorry.
It's okay. But, that movie is made up of a whole bunch of little fairy tales, not just Jack Frost. We also see elements of, I think, Cinderella in there. And I'm now seeing that story in here, too. Where the main character, who was turned into a bear, is charged with doing a good deed if he ever wants to turn back into a person again, because he's this vain, selfish asshole. And then he meets this old woman who is carrying sticks to her house on the other side of the mountain. Not only does he carry her burden along, but also she herself. Up and down the mountain they go, and they finally reach her house. So, you know, that's in there. Weird. But, yes. Alright. We have just finished doing Edna, darling. Who is next?
Bruce from Finding Nemo.
At last the old woman slid down, took the bundle off the young man's back and the baskets off his arm, looked at him quite kindly and said, "Now seat yourself on the bench before the door and rest. You have fairly earned your wages, and they shall not be wanting." Then she said to the Goose Girl.
Goose Girl? This was the Goose Girl? Some old lady witch who's carrying sticks.
I guess.
Then she said to the Goose Girl, "Go into the house, my dear daughter. It is not becoming for thee to be alone with a young gentleman. One must not pour oil onto the fire, and he might fall in love with thee."
Next. Wait, sorry, I'll finish up this last part.
The Count knew not whether to laugh or cry. Such a sweetheart as that, thought he, could not touch my heart, even if she were 30 years younger.
Real nice. Next.
Vermin Supreme?
Pass.
The Cowardly Lion.
In the meantime, the old woman stroked and fondled her geese. Whoa.
What?
In the meantime, the old woman stroked and fondled her geese as if they were children. Whoa!
Okay then.
And then went into the house with her daughter. The youth lay down on the bench under a wild apple tree. The air was warm and mild. On all sides stretched the green meadow, which was set with cowslips.
Cowslips?
Cowslips and turkey cocks. I don't know.
Wild thyme and 1,000 other flowers. With the midst of it rippled a clear brook on which the sun sparkled, and the white geese went walking backwards and forwards and paddled in the water. It's quite delightful here, said he, but I am so tired I cannot keep my eyes open. I haven't slept in weeks. Look at the circles under my eyes. I will sleep a little, if only a gust of wind does not come and blow my legs off my body, for they are as rotten as tinder.
Oh my goodness.
What the hell's going on here? Next.
Oh, really? Home Cruise says, did you know that Joaquin Phoenix and Margot Robbie are in talks to play Hook and Tinkerbell in Disney's Peter Pan remake? I did not know that, but I'm down. Oh, would you stop?
Oh dear. Peter Pan.
Next voice, yes. Yes. I'm down. I'm excited. You don't get a vote. Next voice is the caterpillar from the original Alice in Wonderland. Reel it in.
Feeling. Joaquin Phoenix is a wonderful actor. Margot Robbie is okay, I guess, depending on what you put her in.
She's good.
Okay.
Jared Leto was not her fault.
Oh no. But she wasn't anything spectacular in that by herself either.
She couldn't decide if she was supposed to be Jewish or not. You gotta have the New Yorker accent if you're gonna be Harley Quinn, and she just flip-flopped on the whole thing.
But you can't put Joker and Harley in the same movie and not expect there to be people making that weird link between them. What's gonna happen? Is there gonna be Joker, Hook, and Harley Bell shipping going on?
Maybe.
Why?
To piss you off.
To piss me off, yes.
You have to keep an open mind. That's your job.
hate you.
You know I'm right, though.
Meh.
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 Oh boy, one of my favorites is coming up.
What is that?
Jar Jar.
I'm sorry, what came after whatever it is I just did? I forget.
You did the caterpillar from one.
Caterpillar, that was it. I have not yet done Caterpillar.
Oh.
When he had slept up a little while, the old woman came and shook him till he awoke. "Sit up," said she, "thou canst not stay here. I have certainly treated thee hardly. Still, it has not cost thee thy life. Of money and land thou hast no need. Here is something else for thee." Upon she thrust a little book into his hand, which was cut out of a single emerald. "Take great care," said she, "it will bring thee good fortune." The Count sprang up, and as he felt he was quite fresh, he had recovered his vigor. He thanked the old woman for her present, and set off without even once looking back at the beautiful daughter.
Well, was she a beautiful daughter, or was she a frail old lady who was really, really heavy? I don't know.
When he was already some way off, he still heard in the distance the noisy cry of the geese. Thank you.
Jar
Very good.
Jar,
Jar.
or was it? Now it's Jar.
Jar.
Okay. Oh, God. You don't say that I don't love you.
Oh, for 3 days the Count had to wander in the wilderness before he could find his way out. There he reached a large town. No one knew him. He was led to the royal palace, where the king and the queen saw they were sitting on their throne. They fell on one knee, drew the emerald book out of his pocket, and he laid it at the queen's feet. She bade him rise and hand her the little book. Hardly, however, had she opened it and looked therein, than she felt it as if dead on the ground. The Count Hisa was seized by the king's servants, and was being led to the prisons. Oh no! When the queen opened her eyes and ordered them to release him, and everyone was to go out, as Hisa wished to speak to Hisa in private.
I need to take a shower every time I do that voice.
Johnny O'Malley says, Bobsheaux, Misla hate this. Misla's ears gushing blood.
Misa got a slit on my throat!
That was too good.
The time is now 8:26, and we have 5 pages left to go here in the story.
Oh boy. Let's
we pause?
1 or 2 more voices.
Let's do 2 more voices, then call it a night.
Okay.
What do we got?
Lucas the spider.
Oh, Lucas.
When the queen was alone, she began to weep bitterly, and she said, "Of what use to me are the splendors and honors with which I am surrounded? Every morning I awake in pain and sorrow. I had 3 daughters, the youngest of whom was so beautiful that the whole world looked on her as a wonder. She was white as snow, as rosy as apple blossom, and her hair as radiant as sunbeams."
Oh, it's apple pie.
When she cried, not tears fell from her eyes, but pearls and jewels only. When she was 15 years old, the king summoned all 3 sisters to come before his throne. You should have seen how all the people gazed, and when the youngest entered, it was just as if the sun were rising. She was really pretty.
And for the final voice, adorable nurse, it's yours.
Uh-oh.
For spooky pussy and moisture than an oyster. You may choose the final voice for the stream.
I will never say this enough. You are such a sport.
I laughed so hard, I hurt.
moister than an oyster, and spooky pussy.
Spooky pussy, yes. Too good. That's your reward.
Yes. Yes.
So, give her a moment to, I'm assuming her. I can't, the icons are too small, so I can't see what the picture is. But, if you're not a her, please let me know and I'll do it correctly. But yeah, give her a
Anyway.
minute. Give this person a minute to choose the voice.
Show us what you got.
Don't freak out, just choose the voice. We love you.
No pressure!
Oh, but you already did that one. Are you sure that's the one you want?
What is it?
Okay, well, what's your favorite? Yeah, just do it again. Waspinator.
Waspinator is adorable nurse's favorite voice. Okay.
Well, they said I love it. I love it when you do Waspinator.
Then the king spoke. My daughters, I know not when my last day may arrive. I will today decide what each shall receive at my death.
Waspinator can't die.
You all love me, but the one of you who loves me the best shall fare the best. Each of them said she loved him best. Can you not express to Waspinator, said the king, how much do you love Waspinator? And thus Waspinator shall see what you mean. The eldest spoke. I love my father as dearly as the sweetest sugar.
I love you more than sugar. I love you more than raindrops.
Okay.
The second, I love my father as dearly as my prettiest dress.
Princess Waspinator in a little pretty dress.
Awesome.
But the youngest was silent. Then the father said, And thou, my dearest child, how much dost thou love Waspinator? Waspinator do not know, and can compare my love with nothing. But her father insisted that she should name something.
What do you love me more than?
So she said at last, the best food does not please me without salt. Therefore, I love my father like salt.
And the story ends with her dying an old maid. The end.
Is that really the end?
No, we got a few more pages after this, but
No, I mean that's not the last of the voice that you're in.
that is the last that we are reading here. We are going to leave it there and
But
come.
you have to do one other thing in Waspinator's voice.
What is that?
You have to say those two things.
What two things? Sorry.
The things that Adorable Nurse said that made us choose her for the final voice.
Pardon me, I forgot.
Waspinator is moister than an oyster. And there goes Spooky Pussy Butt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bravo!
Further readings anon.
Adorable Nurses, I have to draw Waspinator in a dress now. The prettiest Decepticon in the land. Yes, let the fan art come in.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. This
Johnny says, man, the reboot to Beast Wars is edgy. Oh, you guys were a lot of fun tonight, but I am starving. We haven't had dinner yet. Starving.
You're going down, Predacon. Did you just assume Waspinator's faction? Waspinator grossly offended! I'm going to hell.
You are taking me with you too. Oh god.
We needed to cut the stream. We are goofy with hunger and sillies.
And I have no voice, and I was the one reading.
Thank you so much for your help today, baby. As always, couldn't do it without you.
Thank you guys for all of your suggestions. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, it always is, but this was especially.
I say that every time. Wow, this one was really fun.
Well, it's because it's true. It keeps on getting better every single time. They keep on challenging me with new voices, and we're just having so much fun, and and I'm just glad that you guys are having a ball too. Thank you so much for showing up to these.
And we'll work on getting me on camera, because apparently my face...
Yes! Yes, we need to see every second of your mortification.
We die over here.
We need to see you doubled over in pain. We need to see you stink-faced. We need to see you run away to the restroom.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Uh-huh. But the video on demand will be,
Here on Saturday morning.
Yeah, on Saturday. I can't even think anymore. I'm so tired and hungry.
Then we will call it a night. And as always, we will see you guys later.
Bye guys, thanks a lot.